cleared.
Okay. Can finish the countdown. Good evening, friends. We are back to Wrong Side of the Wall, Season 2, A Walk Through the Wastes. Tonight, Episode 2, The Great Indoors. We are knee deep now. Not quite thigh deep yet, but we're knee deep now into our second season. Our first session kicked off last week. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was an absolute blast to meet your characters. I can't wait to get them to know them better tonight and see what wonderful things they discover. So Christian, thank you so much for volunteering to do the recap tonight. I'm going to give the floor to you.
All right. So last session we started our new adventure with a fight, in the middle of a fight, being overlooked by John Smith, observing what was going down, and who also helped out. But who was in this fight but Errant Ways, a time-worn man who pilots a suit of armor, Dr. Dieth, is that how it's pronounced? A ghoul of a man and also a doctor, Murphy, the Mr. Handy with a deeply optimistic disposition, and Noah Moore, their gallant and wonderful leader that has no sociopathy at all. None whatsoever. They, shortly after the fight, met John Smith, who hailed from a different world. And after trading quips and facts and shared insights, discovered that they were after sort of the same thing. Finding none other than the broker. Someone who might not actually exist, but let's hope they do. The crew spoke for a long while and then made their way to a gas station where they spent an evening caring for some of the people that were there, talking to some of the people that were living in that area. Some of the crew searched for things that there was no hope of being there, and some of the crew conversed with each other and shared some deeper facts, such as John Smith and Noah Moore getting a bit more insight into their brains, which might not be a good thing. And that's all I have here.
Oh, did you mention where we camped out as session 1 ended?
The gas station, right?
Yes.
The corner.
Yes, I did mention that.
Yes.
The corner.
Yes.
That's what it was called. Sorry about that.
No worries. Not a big deal.
Welcome to corner. Take a corner.
Some geeks furiously typing, it was called the corner.
I was, in my brain I was.
Just remember, it's that place from Corner Gas.
Yeah, there you go. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, that was the joke.
The correct province. Yep. Don't even worry about it.
So it's the next day, and as I expressed at the end of last session, Noah went up onto a hill and spotted the Edmonton Mall in the distance. For those of you without context, this is the Edmonton Mall. This is the West Edmonton Mall. This is not a little shop with with a bay in it and a couple of fast food restaurants and a grocery store. The West Edmonton Mall is 5.3 million square feet. It is the largest indoor mall in North America. And it is home to a full water park, a casino, several car dealerships, an ice skating rink, one of those swan boat rides, as well as actual shops and eating areas and all of that. So
I took a look at the map. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
I've been to Mall of America, and this thing is whoo.
Yeah. So it's the size of PEI, yeah.
Yeah, it's the West Edmonton continent.
So it's massive. So it is kind of a city inside a city, and as as a structure that has survived some of the nuclear winter that has hit Canada, it has kind of become de facto Edmonton. All of the Edmonton around the mall is now sort of smoking wastes. Although, as we will find out, there are little pockets of people here and there. But the city of Edmonton has basically migrated inside of this mall now, which has become sort of its own sort of self-sustained city in some ways. So
I do have a question.
yes.
Just to make sure we arrive when it's open, what are the operating hours of the mall?
Nice.
God, man, this is guys. I can't remember where we parked. Shit.
Who has to keep
We
up?
park behind the decaying corpses of
There's so many.
Where the
bodies,
hell?
or
Where the hell are my car keys?
if only we had the car keys that had the fobs, but those weren't invented because they needed a miniature nuclear reactor in them.
Yeah.
They have transistors, and that wasn't gonna go.
Yep. No, that was it.
You had to carry it around in a backpack, and then you push like a button, like boom, and then it like.
Well, you didn't bother with that. You sent your Mr. Handy to drive it to you.
Yeah, that's true. There you go. So
Happy
we
to do
are-
it, sir.
Yeah, happy
Types
to
of
do it, sir.
technology. Oh my god.
Yeah. So we are. So that with that in mind, I think we've chatted a little bit. Richard and I know Richard, you and I have chatted already. We've talked about the fact that No More has actually been to this mall before. Those of you who are centuries old and you know who you are, you can decide for yourself if and when you might have been here before. If you have, you did not stay long. Maybe you were passing through, you stayed a night, blah, blah, blah. Noah, you and I have already chatted a little bit about what you know, what you don't know, and we can fill that in as we go. Nah, who else can help her? Sorry, Albert.
I actually used to work here in a pizza joint.
Ah, okay. There you go. Bring it back the pizza references.
That's why the Brotherhood guy looks so much like Bob.
Oh, okay. Cool. Nice. But we're not there yet. Where we are right now is it's the next morning at Corner, and Noah, you have at this point gathered up your compatriots to you on sort of the edge of this little settlement, ready to kind of move on. So at this point, everyone who needs to sleep, aka everyone except Murphy, has awoken. One way
We've
or
all
the
been
other.
aroused. Wait.
Yes. You have all awoken. You've all done whatever you consider to be a morning ritual for yourselves. And now you are standing on the edge of the little gas station, ready to hear from your inspiring leader on where we're heading next. So,
Tell me, inspiring leader, where are we headed next?
Gentlemen, have you ever heard of the Edmonton Mall?
Oh boy, we're going shopping.
Oh, we're not just going shopping, my good friend. This is effectively the most important part of Canada, I guess, at this point. This is where things happen. And most likely, we're going to be able to find at least somebody who knows something about the broker there.
And what things are that happens in this place?
It's a city. There's bars and casinos and people that live there. I'm not sure how to describe it further than that. You've lived in a city before.
It's a great big place. Lots of things. Not hard
It just
to
happens.
find niche products.
Man, this world's a little sad because like before it was like the shopping district for a city and now it is the city. It's just I don't love that.
Nobody does.
I
Well,
do, sir.
I'm glad
Get
someone
on,
is
Murph.
enjoying this, Murph.
We, as I reminded you yesterday, did what we had to do to survive in the world that we did, and we turned effectively what was nothing into a bustling city. So,
Right? Yeah, you
please.
gotta understand. It's still taking me. It's gonna take me a minute longer than this to sort of embrace the apocalypse.
I think you'll be able to understand exactly what I'm talking about when we get there. When you see this thing on the horizon, you are going to innately know what I mean when I say that this is it. But we got to go there, and we have to go there. And he looks at his pit boy in order to gauge like time and whatever.
Right.
We have to leave now because we want to get there before it's days from now. So, gentlemen, it will be off.
There is no time to waste, gentlemen.
Precisely.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Okay.
Off we go.
And with that, the journey begins. And of course, we would at this point cut to one of those Indiana Jones style, like dotted lines, traveling across. Actually, for any of you who have played the original Fallout, that's actually how they abstracted map travel. They zoomed out onto the map and did a little dotted line thing to wherever you were going. Only interrupting if you reached a destination or got into a random encounter.
Speaking of which,
it was a perfect segue because as your little dotted line moves, if you want to think of it like that, you do indeed come across a group of ne'er-do-wells, as it were.
The what now?
Ne'er-do-wells.
They're the local gang in the area, I've heard.
All right, time to find out what these idiots never did well.
No, so the five of you, as you journey towards the mall, at this point, you can kind of, all of you now are very aware of the large structure in the horizon. Not because it's the most massive thing ever, but because it's really the only obvious structure in any direction that's not a big mountain.
or a smoking crater.
Or a smoking crater, exactly.
Which is like a big reverse mountain.
The contours of the outer rim of its steel and concrete design. It's a very, very well-worn sign that probably said "Welcome to the West Edmonton Mall" at some point, but now just says WT and Mall. Is still sort of weathering the elements on the top of the giant structure as well. And you can see actually dots of what looks like various groups. Some of them might be merchants or something. You do spot a couple of Brahmin. Brahmin, by the way, for those not initiated, are two-headed cows, which have become sort of the default pack animals of the Fallout universe. So you see a couple of fellows with Brahmin. You can see others who are like pitched in little tents. You're not sure exactly why they're out here. But you do see little spatterings of people amongst what might have probably been the parking lot of this mall once upon a time, or something like that. So, as you continue to board, so this is off in the horizon. You're still hours away, but it's so obvious a structure now in the sort of flat wastelands, and Alberta's pretty flat. That it has become apparent to all of you at this point. As you continue on, you are not accosted, but just approached by a group of four. The four gentlemen who approach you are all wielding some sort of primitive weapon. One of them has like a piece of like pipe in their hands. Another one has like a really rusty like sword or katana. A couple of them are like, sort of tapping on like pistols and holsters on their belts, and they're just sort of just doing that sort of like pose where they're just trying to be as intimidating as possible. They're folding their arms in and try to like flex their biceps and all of that. Swaggering, exactly. Two off group, the 4 gentlemen. And one of them just steps forward and sort of addresses the group as you continue walking. Whether or not you even notice them before the first one addresses is up to you. But hey, if you want to continue on this way, I'm afraid you're going to have to pay the protection tax. This is our spot.
Mr. Moore, I do believe we are being mugged.
Yeah, that is the feeling that I was getting myself. Gentlemen, I will say, and he calls out to them, that you are clearly outmatched, and if you would like to survive the evening, I would say back off. Thank you and good night.
Roll speech.
Sure. Give me a second.
Ooh.
I didn't have my character sheet out. Speech. All right, let's go. No additional dice.
Nope. 1 success.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
You die. Sorry.
You're getting there. Last week we had not as good a roll. This week we're getting there. So, getting those okay rolls out of the way.
Gotta
so
get the
that there's
bad
awesome
ones out
rolls
of the
later.
way.
Exactly. Get those good ones in later when it really matters.
Precisely.
The main thug, we'll call him, backs off a little bit and looks at the others and says, yeah, all right. He stops a second. I don't suppose you have any caps, eh? We're running a little low on medical supplies.
Medical supplies. Can I do a? I was gonna say, what is perception?
Harass
But
check?
that's not a check. To see if they're fiending for it.
Oh, yeah, you don't need to make a check. Whatever, insight is high enough, as it
You
were.
weren't born yesterday. You know what they mean.
Yeah, they're not talking about medical supplies. They're definitely talking about drugs.
What?
Oh.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who would imagine?
Yeah. No, I don't think I will. Gentlemen, I bid you adieu.
Yeah, they, you can see a couple of them, like, motioning to try to make a threat, but you can see that a couple of them who maybe are a little bit more sober are sort of looking each of you up and down. They look up the guy in the power armor up and down.
Oh, I'm not in my power armor. I'm dragging it right
Now
now.
you're tracking it. Well, they still see it anyways. But they notice the robot, they notice the guns, and they're just like, they notice there's 5 of you, and they keep making, like, motions to do something, and then eventually kind of just wander away. So
None of them want to be the first.
none of them want to be the first. So anyways, you continue on towards now the edge of the mall. So another hour or so passes, and you make your way to now the edge of civilization, as it were, without further incident. And now, like you said, you can see there's a few groups of people who have set up little makeshift tents in what, again, would have probably been like the parking lot at one point. That's a reference for the players. The characters might not connect those dots, but there's a couple of merchants standing around with, like, Brahmin. Some of them have set up, like, basically like folding tables, and they've set out a couple of, like, knickknacks and tchotchkes and stuff like that. This is very obviously a bunch of people have set up, like, a little, like, very, like, sort of low grade bazaar kind of thing out here. So there's a couple of tables. Any of you who kind of walk by or glance at them notice that it's just kind of like it's just junk. It's just like little knickknacks and, like, weird little, like, bits of like pipe bent into, like, a shape that kind of looks like something, and like the equivalent of like macaroni art, basically.
They don't have any
Uh,
bobby pins or bobbleheads.
Awful lot of scrap metal fish here.
No, nothing that would really be utility. I mean, maybe some of the things that are made out of like scrap metal could be melted down and made into some other purpose, but not without some kind of refining. These are all just like bits of junk people are setting out to try to sell
Garbage.
to whoever.
Nice. We're in a flea market, guys.
Exactly. So,
Oh,
anyways.
Pokemon cards.
Wait, he's not the right size.
I cannot believe you guys still have these.
They have like 1,000 first edition Charizard cards.
Nice.
Just using them as cup holders.
Yep, there it is. If they're not bottle caps, they're worthless. As the 5 of you continue moving forward, you definitely attract most of the eyes of the people who are standing around or sitting or attempting to sleep in the still pretty early morning sun at this point. It's not every day, obviously, that they see a group such as you, and you are a pretty assorted group, all things considered.
Oh, thank you.
I would say, especially Dr. DF, that you are very aware of many, many eyes sort of staring at you.
I categorize myself as black licorice, not assorted.
Good.
The polite ones are staring. The polite ones are staring really hard at you. The not so polite ones are making comments under their breath, mostly about the odor. So what you choose to do or say about that is up to you. But otherwise, everyone's just kind of staring at the sort of group. Eventually, their eyes wander away.
John's just sad because he knows, and they don't know, but he knows that odor is actually coming from Aaron Ways. It gets musty in that suit.
Wow.
Oof.
Well, I know who I'm killing first in this campaign.
Well, hey, when I drop from that building and do that shockwave attack, if Sean's a little too close,
Not my fault.
well,
I guess he won't miss that one.
as you continue to sort of wiggle your way through this crowd of junk sellers, basically, you're eventually approached by a gentleman. He is wearing what's the word I'm looking for? Like rancher dude outfit. He's got like the sort of lawn pants with the leathers that you would have if
He's
you were
got a
riding
chaps.
a horse or something. Yeah, exactly. He's got this sort of like open vest. He looks, is a comfy but practical, like work outside all day kind of outfit. But he definitely looks like he's just come off a ranch or something.
Like
He's
an
got the big
Alberta
hat.
rancher.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the big hat, right? You can see he's got some sort of rifle tucked into his holster on his back and all of that. And
Dark glasses of authority?
No dark glasses of authority.
my.
But he steps away from what you can see is the mall entrance and a couple of other armed guys, and sort of makes his way through the couple of riffraff around him as he notices the 5 of you, interesting people, coming towards him. He tips his hat towards you. Howdy, strangers. Looking to get into the mall?
Sheriff Downer, I believe. It's been a long time since I've been in the city, but
The guy shakes his head. No. I'm Deputy Blinker. Sheriff Downer's inside in the office.
Well, I give it a shot. Thank you. Can I go there now, or do you need anything else from us?
You've been here before, then?
Yes, a couple times actually.
Mm-hmm. If you've got business in the mall, then you've got business with Sheriff Downer. I'll take it to him, and he can decide if you're able to come in. Not everyone is. And he motions around to the people in the parking lot.
Well, that sounds delightful, actually. Thank you. Lead the way.
What disqualified these poor sods?
He turns back. The city's pretty crowded. We only let people in who are enterprising or useful.
whoever can afford it.
Yeah, if you want to think of it that way.
Sounds like
He
where I
opens-
grew up.
He opens the front door and like sort of stands to the side so you guys can go in first. For a description of the entranceway, everyone here has been to a mall before. Nothing super amazing about this. Although, the entrances are very, very fancy. So this is a very upscale kind of mall. So, get rid of your, corner store, plaza kind of malls and think like big boutique kind of places at best. The ones that would have like a cinema in the same parking lot or something like that. Big arch, overtop, oversized doors. Probably had glass in them at some point. You can see the glass has long since been replaced by like sheet metal, basically, which makes looking inside of them when they're closed impossible. But when they're open, of course, you can see inside.
It'd be pretty impressive to be the size that they are and to still
Yes.
be working compared to all the rubble that we've been walking through up till now.
Absolutely. So.
Would the glass be radioactive?
Well, it's no glass, so.
But if there was?
I don't know. I don't know if glass gets radioactive. Anyways, so as he opens the door, like I said, there's a big arch. Like I said, for those of you who haven't been to a lot of buildings or seen buildings like this is, like I said, a huge, monumentally massive structure, and very fancy. Inside, you can see there's like the remnants of a tile floor. Many of the tiles have been uprooted, and you can just sort of see, patches of concrete every so often. The tile that is left is definitely cracked and withered and all of that. It does not look like the building is completely weatherproof. And so you can see inside the building is lit in sort of little blocks. The lighting sources aren't obvious from outside, and it's very dark compared to the light you're getting from outside, obviously, because let's say it's 11 a.m., like it's approaching noon, you're almost at midday, the brightest is going to be, the mall is very dark in comparison, the equivalent of like having the hallway light on and that's it kind of thing.
Right. I'm sure they have skylights, but there are a bunch of overhangs from the balconies, so certain parts are going to be dark.
Exactly.
Certain parts are going to be lighter.
Yeah.
Noah takes his sunglasses off.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of local lights, like there's nothing necessarily lining the storefronts, we'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, exactly. There are lights up above, but they're very dim compared to the light that's coming from the sun right now. One of those things where you're going to have to be like squinting real hard as you step in. Assuming all of you step in though, Sheriff Bleeker comes in behind you, shuts the door, make sure no one else comes in after him. There are still a couple of armed guys, also dressed the same way, still standing outside the doors. And then once he's pleased that no one else is following him in, he leads you down the street. And again, for the player's reference, the street is very much like an aisle in a really big, very upscale mall. Most of what you would consider to be have been storefronts at one point. Most of them have been covered up, converted. Lots of them have little doors on them. Some of them have even like little quaint mailboxes with like surnames printed across them. People have those like little pots that you would put plants in, but there's no plants in them. There's just like piles of rocks or like little bits of metal or something.
John clutches his backpack where he knows his potted plant is even tighter.
Yeah. But you can see that what would be storefronts for the players' references have been converted into like little bungalows, basically, into whatever space each of these stores would have had. And they're the equivalent of like a townhouse kind of thing, like very narrow, basically a single room, and whatever would have been maybe the back storage room for that store has now become a little house. So as you're led down this one particular street, you can see that the storefronts here have been converted such. You can see the same thing on the opposite wall, the opposite side, which is a considerable distance away. There is a gap in the middle. There's nothing there. But those of you who might be familiar with the mall architecture, and again for the players, would have been an area where there might at one point have just been like benches, or like just like a sitting area, like places where people would have put couches outside of shops or whatever for people who were waiting for someone else to come out. So Dad's workshopping his voice. I heard that. So these areas are lined that way. And for those of you who glance around into the distance as you're being led by the deputy, can see that other storefront areas have been converted in other ways. Places that probably more extravagant storefronts have been converted into basically the equivalents of indoor mansions. And in the other direction, far in the other direction, you can see that they've been divided up into even smaller areas, practically cubicles, and people are sort of like squatted into them. So, and it doesn't take too much to click that, like, okay, here's some rich houses and here's some like, people just sitting in a cubicle. Basically.
Here's where the merchants live, and here's where the people who know how to fix things live.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's different regions. There's the rich place and the ghettos and the whatever else. Like a real town.
Yeah, exactly. Blinker continues leading you down this quaint street. This street is neither super rich looking nor super poor looking. It's definitely like that middle class sort of area. And you can see, if you gaze at the signs at the top, you come soon to a little area that says like Edmonton law enforcement, basically. He stops and says, have all y'all been here before? Or some of you new?
Well, I have been through multiple times at this point. Well, just doing jobs and collecting information, but outside of that, nothing very long.
Okay. Well, we have an unspoken rule around here. That is, of course, a rule that's pretty common out in the wastelands as well. He who has the guns has the power. And he looks around for a second. And at the moment, Sheriff Downer has most of the guns. So just keep that in mind as you meet him. He turns and pushes the door open. And unlike all of the other houses in this area that are done up sort of pseudo-modern townhouse style with doors with knobs and such, the law enforcement building has been done up like it was pulled out of a John Wayne set. It's got like the slipping like saloon doors, such that they can't really ever close. They're like sort of constantly like swinging on their hinges. And the walls are lined with like horns and various rifles on display and that kind of thing. As Deputy Blinker swings one side of the door open and motions for you to enter, you are greeted by Sheriff Downer. And Dad, I will let you give a physical description of him.
All right, folks, listen up. My name's Hugh Downer. I'm the town sheriff. You can call me Sheriff Downer. My personal office is next to the Victoria's Secret store. My job is to uphold the law and keep the peace. Tools I use to do that are these: 2 Colt 45 peacemakers and this here Winchester rifle in my back holster. You're allowed to keep your weapons on your person, but do not draw them. There are certain areas you may not enter unless you have enough store credits. This information is available to you at the information desk. If you obey all the laws and go about your business in an orderly fashion, you will not be disturbed. If you break the law or disturb the peace, then me and my deputies will hunt you down and kill you. Any questions?
Where do you get those guns?
Yeah, actually, I've got a question, Sheriff Downer. How you doing today? Sorry, I have 2 questions, I guess. Because that one. How do we get more store credits?
That she'll have to discuss with the people at the information desk.
Right. You already mentioned that. I'm sorry.
You had another question. What was it?
Oh no, because I asked you how you were doing today. I suppose that qualifies as a question.
I'm doing fine. As
I'm
long
glad
as
to
you
hear
don't
that.
break the law, I'm doing just fine.
Seems like you're going to be having a great day then, because I have no intentions.
And he means that, Sheriff. We all do. Right, gentlemen?
Of course, sir.
Whatever the
Wasn't
boss said.
planning on it.
Deputy Blinker turns to the sheriff. Sheriff Downer, apparently some of these folks have been here before and some of them are new. I don't suppose you want me to give them a little bit of a tour? Maybe just show them a couple places that might be useful to them? Haven't gotten from them yet how long they're planning on staying. And obviously we need to talk about whether or not you're okay with them staying.
I'm okay with anybody staying as long as they don't break the law.
He nods. Yeah, of course, Sheriff. If that's all right, then I'll show them a couple places, and then we can get back to the matter at hand. Of course, I know you want to talk more about the gang issue. And he looks at you. Permission to leave?
Go ahead, Deputy Bleeker. Go about your business.
Thank you, Sheriff. Let me know if you need anything. So. All right, gentlemen, if you'll follow me, I'm just going to show you a couple of places I don't have all day. So let's keep the pace up here. And, like I said, follow the rules.
Dr.
Of
DF
course.
nods at the sheriff and follows along.
Blinker takes you back out into the city streets and just and starts walking a little ways and doesn't stop to say anything until he's convinced he's out of earshot of the sheriff. So he points at his own forehead. Sheriff Down has lost a couple of these as he points at his forehead. Lost a couple of brain cells over the years, but I ain't never seen a man shoot as fast as him and as straight as him, so what he says goes.
Sorry, continue. I thought you would.
You should know Edmonton technically has a mayor, but we have elections every 2 years, but let's just face it, the mayor does what Sheriff Downer wants, so just keep that in mind.
So, is there actually like an info desk?
Oh yeah, there's an info desk. It's back that way. You can chat with them soon. He turns around and he just points way off to like the north west. Okay, if you go all the way down this street here, all the way to the end, you'll get to Ramsey's Casino. He stops a second. Yeah, he actually calls himself Ramsey's. I don't know, whatever. As long as the caps keep flowing, we get our 10%. Doesn't really matter what he calls himself. If that's your thing, that's over there. He turns to the other side. Way down there, we got the medical clinic. It's expensive, but if you find yourself needing a patch up, then there you go. I understand they're a bit short-staffed, though, so, you might be waiting quite a while. So, me? Anyways, so you just need to be aware of that. He does like a 70-degree turn and says, sort of that way southish. That's the water park. I would avoid that area. Pretty much all. And then he stops as he notices. He looks at DF like he's noticed him for the first time. He just sort of stares at him for a second, uncertainly for a second, and says,
Oh man, I hate ghoul slums. Always so smelly.
And,
Don't you?
And he just nods, like suddenly taken very awkwardly, and just says, "Mm-hmm."
Probably steer clear. Don't need that kind of scum around here, am I right?
He does another little degree turn and flips the other way. And now he's pointing east and says, "Okay, that away. That's the machine shop. Gavin Rhymes running that right now by himself. Unfortunately, his partner went down with our expedition and never came back. Don't know if that expedition is coming back. Haven't heard about that yet. So he's running that by himself. He's been trying to get some of the automobiles or whatever to run again. That ain't ever gonna happen. But whatever, as long as he doesn't cause any other problems. If that's the thing, it's on that direction." And then he spins one more time. And over there is the general store. It's run by a man named Wally. I think he calls himself Wacky Wally this week. The guy's an absolute nutcase, but to be completely honest, he runs the only real store with any real stuff in it. Everything else is junk. And don't buy anything outside. That's all junk too.
How come you didn't say anything was useful in the water park?
He stops for a second.
Come on, Noah, you can put a pin in that. That wasn't.
No. I'd like to know if there was something at least to see, possibly. You can't possibly have an entire section of this entire mall that has nothing useful in it.
Actually, yeah, he does have a point. You did say that there were pretty stringent entry regulations. So, the sheriff said there were a little less stringent ones. Don't break the law, but it's like if you don't just let anyone in, how do you have a ghoul slum? You know what I'm saying?
He blinks for a second. I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to say what they're up to right now. But perhaps with some store credit, we can talk again.
Oh, I have to get some script. Yes, this is why I only pass through these places. Okay.
Anyways.
Speaking of store credits and what you people are up to, you mentioned something about an expedition that ain't coming back.
Oh, we've had complaints from some of the townsfolk. There's been critters running around, and we're pretty sure they're coming from one of the old drainage pipes underneath the mall. We sent a small expedition down, a couple of Sheriff Downer's men, a couple of well-meaning citizens. That was a day and a half ago. They haven't come back.
Are you concerned, or are you needing people to look for them?
Hey, yeah, if you want to look for them, by all means. If you can find anything useful, I'm sure that'll be worth something.
And if we do find them, what's in it for us?
Well said, friend.
He's the deputy. He doesn't.
He shrugs. I guess it depends on what you find, or what kind of state they're in.
Well, it's possible we could find some store credit for saving your men.
Yeah, it's certainly doable. Depending on where it is depending on whether you want to take up residence here or not, you're going to need certain levels of store credit. You can get all that information at the desk, though. It's not really my job.
The desk
I'm sure the information.
John.
And he spins around again, back towards the direction of the casino and the clinic. Info desk is down there. 2 streets south. Turn left. Turn right. Turn left again. 1 more left. You'll be there. Can't miss it if you follow those directions.
I do need to ask, if we get confronted by people and need to defend ourselves.
He looks at you and says, "You heard the sheriff. Drawing weapons is really, really bad here. Don't do it.
Even in self-defense?
No drawn weapons. Only the sheriff and his deputies are allowed to bear arms out openly here. Anyone else who does so is shot."
And how is that monitored if we're down somewhere in the outer reaches of this town where the sheriff can't see anything and we get jumped?
Take quiet weapons.
Possibly on a drainage expedition?
If you're in the drainage sewers, anything goes.
I see.
You have been greatly helpful, sir.
Yes,
Well, thanks, Mr. Robot.
Thank you, Deputy. If we need any more information from you, I shall reach out.
Uh-huh. Well, we're going to be pretty busy. Got lots of stuff going on, and there's only so many of us. So, if you find yourself in real panic, then yeah, you can come back here. Otherwise, take care.
Yeah. As far as you got any jobs you need help with?
He spins around. He shrugs. Look around. I already got a full-time job. And then he spins back and goes inside.
Now, Waze, he said no guns. He didn't say no fists. So, if somebody does try to jump us, I'm sure that you can go smashy smashy.
Yeah, that was what I was getting at, boss.
Excellent, thank you. We're all on the same page.
Everything is legal as long as you don't get caught.
Honestly, it sounds to me like, unless someone's a newcomer like us, they don't really consider drawing the guns in the first place. But, you know what? I'm new here. I'll shut up.
No. I'm very interested in what you have to think about this. You also took offense to the fact that there is a ghetto full of ghouls that he failed to mention anything about. We'll need more store credit for this?
I didn't take offense to that. There are ghettos everywhere. I just am confused as to how there can be a ghetto when there's stringent entry restrictions.
No, I'm not upset that there's a ghetto. I'm upset that he couldn't find one positive thing to say about it.
Maybe they were here before the rest got established.
Or maybe they're up to some hinky shit with nuclear reactors and he can't tell us until we have store credit.
It's possible they're all feral, although I wouldn't want to say anything about that in front of the doctor. Doctor, what do you feel about this? Should that be something we check out, or should we wait until we get a little more credit?
Dr. Dieth looks up from where he's just sort of sitting on one of the benches that used to stud the hallway of the mall, the remnants of it. You see his eyes glowing violet in the dim light. It's all the same to me. Let's just get this over with.
Well, how long are we staying? Are we gonna be cooped up here for a few days, boss, or what?
Well, depending on if I can find what I'm looking for, it might be an afternoon, it could be a couple days. I hope it doesn't necessarily take a couple days, but...
You're hoping to find
I'm hoping...
who knows where the broker is.
I think we should probably start by asking the information desk where we can find provisional housing while we're in town. Probably not a bad move.
It sounds like quite a good idea, actually.
That machine shop also sounded interesting. We can get some sort of transportation that might expedite our process.
And
I should check out the local hospital as well.
I was just about to
trade
suggest.
a certain amount of medical equipment in return for my services.
Oh, so like in the wasteland, are casinos like real casinos, like card games and slots, or do they have like carnival games? Because if they got the like ring toss or they got the like baseball thing, I'm a shoo-in.
The baseball thing?
Okay, that answers that question.
No, this is a true blue casino. They play cards and craps and, well, I mean, they should.
Right,
it's a casino. But that doesn't mean that they don't
Wait,
do...
did you say craps?
Possibly. I mean, it depends on the casino.
I'm going to need to learn the rules of craps, but there might be something there for me.
John, if you haven't noticed already, the rest is a shithole out there. These casinos are few and far between.
Right, fair enough.
Skills-based games.
The fact
That's
that-
exactly what they specialize in.
Exactly, and the fact that they have one here just means that they're pretty well off.
Right, I mean, craps isn't technically a skills-based game, but I don't know, my skills are a little out of the ordinary. there might be something I can do with that.
John,
Well-
I want you to make us some money then. I will give you the remainder of my caps, and I hand John
Why don't- hang- no.
144 caps.
Noah, that's okay. Why don't we go see the information desk first? I think that's probably something we should all do as a group.
Let's go there
unfortunately,
first, and then we could talk about
Yeah.
the gambling.
Meanwhile, this entire time you just hear.
It's a dragging thing, yeah.
I imagine by now we're in nerds to it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
imagine so.
You know,
And
it's
John
funny,
notices for a
Doc. We
while.
could hook it up to the Mr. Handy, but he's just never asked.
So,
Don't give the boy ideas.
Mm.
It's
You
fine.
touch the armor, you die.
It builds character.
Build something.
If Aaron Ways isn't constantly sweating, he's probably dead. So
right. Yeah. Exactly. I imagined him like. I remember Chris's description of like Shade originally being like kind of like an older Clint Eastwood kind of thing. That's kind of how I got in Aaron Ways' mind as well. Like where he's fit, like he's not like super buff, but he's fit.
Oh.
He's a bit older. You know, he can still,
Sinewy
he can
and
still
tough.
go and yeah,
Like-
exactly.
like overdone steak.
Like
Exactly.
Reinhardt from Overwatch, we had a couple bad years.
That's
Yeah.
a really good description. I like the
Yeah.
overdone steak analogy. Yeah. So, anyway, so you approach the information desk, assumably. And again, for player reference, it is exactly as you might imagine. It's a big desk. And honestly, considering that the mall has basically been converted into a giant indoor city, it's a strange outlier. And an obvious sort of fossil of what this mall once was. It's got it's sort of a round oval shape. There's a lady sitting behind it, looking very friendly and cordial, with one of those like plastered on smiles, not literally plastered on, but I just mean like one of those artificial smiles people throw on when they have to work in customer service and aren't actually happy to see you.
Hi, how are you today?
Yeah. She's got very like she's dressed as nicely as she can. She's got like a little like a black blouse on. Her hair's done up in like a neat bun at the top. And like I said, she's got a sort of a gentle smile. Oh, hello, gentlemen. How might I be helping you today? Welcome to the
Does she have a
West
name tag?
Edmonton Mall information desk.
Does she have a name tag?
Oh, does she have a name tag? Oh, that's a great question. Yeah. It says, "Hi, I'm Jeanette."
Yes. Jeanette. Hi, Jeanette. I was hoping you could help me. I've been through the mall a couple times, but I've never gotten anything in relation to store credit. I was wondering how I could accumulate some.
Of course. My name's Barbara.
It's a good joke. I appreciate it.
The store credit is the universal measure of city contribution here at the West Edmonton Mall. The more store credit you have, the more of the city is accessible to you, and the more amenities that it offers to its patrons. Store credit is earned by buying and selling within the city limits, or by participating in various community activities that enhance and enrich the community here.
Noah
Is there-
throws a quick look to John. Oh, John, we can get store credit by participating in community activities, I hear.
Is there like a bulletin board for those, or oh, hi Barbara, I'm John. Nice to meet you.
Hello, John. It's a pleasure to meet you. In fact, there is a bulletin board that you can find. This is posted near the mayor's office. We have several ongoing public community and community service things that can be registered for and applied for. Normally, this takes 24 hours for the process to take place, but for those issues that are more pressing, of course, we allow immediate sign up.
And the casino, does that deal in only caps, or can you get some store credit there too?
She stops for a second. store credit can be attained at the casino if the city of Edmonton deems that your contributions to the casino further the community.
Barbara, are you reading off a script right now?
She sighs. Yeah. Read the
You're
same
doing a
script
very
my whole
good
life.
job.
Thanks.
I'm sure
3 more
this
days
is-
and someone else rotates out for me. I don't get to sleep in this position, you know.
How long have you been on your feet, Barbara?
She thinks for a second. It'll be 3 weeks.
Wait, so
Excuse me?
if they have someone who can switch out with you in 3 days, why are your shifts 3 weeks and 4 days long?
The other
If there's
lady-
more than one.
The other lady
Sorry.
who's shifting out with me is currently on nurse duty.
Oh. Yeah, that's...
Oh.
What a
So
noble
this-
cause!
Sorry, this might seem rude. I hope it doesn't... Is she Jeanette?
She nods.
Gotcha.
There's only the one outfit. So there's a severe understaffing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I gotta wear this one. Samantha's gotta wear this. Rachel's gotta wear it. Megan's gotta wear it. Only
All
got one
those
name
people.
tag though.
Well,
Because what happened to all them?
Oh, well, they're on other jobs right now. I believe Rachel actually went down with the expedition a day or so ago. Many of the others are assigned to other things. That's how it works here.
You have
Okay. Because
If all-
social credit levels can't mix with each other. So those at certain social credit levels have to continue. Social credit. I read that in the comments. Store credit levels can't mix with each other. So those at certain store credit levels have to maintain certain jobs.
I see.
Well,
Yeah,
you're doing a
accommodations.
wonderful job, young lady.
Well, thank you, sir.
Now, if you wouldn't just mind directing me to the local hospital, I will stump my way over there while these gentlemen work out further details of where they need to go next.
She scratches her head. Certainly. Dr. Carol Bertram runs the clinic. It's just down this way, sir. It's quite the hike, though. It is on the other side of the mall. But
That's all right. No one's going to trouble an old doctor who's never done anything wrong, right?
she said, "No, sir. I don't think anyone would trouble a doctor, but they might." And she stops. I'm sure the help will be much appreciated.
I don't doubt it. Gentlemen, Mr. Moore, if you have nothing else that you'd like me to do, I'll see if I can't get us a few stim packs for the trip.
Actually, Doc, before you go, there is one more question that might be prudent for you to know also. Barbara, we're, just as visitors, we are looking to collect some store credit, but we have none at the moment. Is there a place where we could stay provisionally while we're working on that?
She blinks and sort of frowns a little bit. And she points in the direction of the water park.
Okay, that works.
Classy accommodations.
What if we
There's running
just
water.
set up shop in the road?
You'd probably stay for a while, but if a patrol or something passes by, they'll probably want you to move.
Okay, good to know.
Mr. Moore, do you require my assistance at the moment?
I don't, Murphy. I'd like to hear what you were thinking, though.
I would like to join our dear Dr. Dieth.
You know, Murphy, this is why I like you, because I was considering the same thing. Now, if anything happens, you holler. You hear?
I'm incapable of hollering, sir. My volume is at a constant high.
I'm pretty sure you can get me a message on my Pip-Boy or something.
I'll do my best, sir. Off we go, Doctor.
Yay.
Excellent.
Yay. Nice. Very, very enthusiastic. Excellent. Okay, well then DS and Murphy head off to the clinic. We will come to the two of you in just a moment. For the rest of you, what do you guys do?
Well, gentlemen, we have an expedition to go look into, or we can go and see if we can get some caps in the casino.
Look, boss, I think that expedition can wait. I want to check out that machine shop, see what I can do. Perhaps if I can lend some assistance, we might be able to get some sort of transportation, even if it's just for this hunk of junk that I'm looking around.
That is true. Would you require any assistance on your this job, or would you prefer to do this alone? Because I would love to go to the casino. Honestly, I want to see what John has.
I was just gonna say, would you rather talk about gears and mechanics, or would you rather go make us some money so I can actually get some stuff?
I mean, no, I wasn't. Like, trust me, I love the flashing lights. I love the energy in the air in the casino. I was probably going to try and check out the bulletin board by the mayor's office first.
Look, if we can do a couple rolls, or, well, hands, or whatever you want to do at the casino, what might be on offer, we can check it out, and if it's not worth our time, well, we don't have to stay. But if we can get a little money, that might help us before we go and do literally anything else.
All right.
Look, boss,
All right.
This place is big. What time and where are we meeting up?
Well, I check my time. What time is it now, Nathaniel?
It is 12:30.
12:30. Meet back here in 5 or 6 hours. I trust you for now. You're not gonna run off. You've got a big suit. You can't.
You'd be surprised.
I might be. Meet us back here at 5. Doctor's not going to be able to hear us about that, though, so we'll have to see.
What, a few hours?
Yeah, a few hours.
Alright. See you then.
Trangs. Okay, so Aaron is heading to the machine shop. Noah and John are heading to the pool.
Noah is making John go to the casino.
Noah is making.
John's not
go.
gonna argue too much.
Right.
Noah really wants more money with the guy that can't miss.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see what we got
I
there
got that.
first.
I was like, wait a minute, throwing dice.
As we're walking there,
Yeah.
as we're walking there, John waits till he's in a spot that seems like it has not too many people around,
Uh-huh.
and he says quietly, "Now listen, I'm okay with getting a little bit of the store credit like this. If like the number one way bad things happen is if we abuse this, okay? So it's only gonna be to get us started off. This is not an argument with me."
I am not looking to get more than maybe 500 or 600 caps out of this at all.
Okay.
At least for the moment. This could be, well, we could be here for a little while. We might need more money later, but we'll see how this goes. Baby steps.
That's fine. We can figure it out.
Right. All right. So DF and Murphy, I will start with the two of you. It's a trip to the mall. DF and Murphy, I'll start with you. Your journey, for the most part, is uneventful. But as you get closer and closer to the clinic, the nice little quaint townhouse-style homes that have been converted from storefronts quickly shift to to a much more dilapidated. Everyone's just kind of in a cardboard box or sitting wherever they can.
Oh, my
In
favorite.
just like a big empty storefront. And they all look like they're wearing jumpsuits, or they're all in some kind of workers' gear. You get the idea that, this is like, these look like, maintenance people. Like, they're in basically like janitor outfits that have been recolored or retooled or re-equipped for slightly different jobs. And they're all in the process of doing something ranging from, eating something out of a can to kind of just sitting on the ground with like a blanket over them trying to sleep. So funnel cake or some such.
Quite the development from what this place used to be, wouldn't you say?
Seen better days, that's for certain, than this whole world has.
I remember this mall as a bustling place, full of fortune and good times.
I imagine it was full of fortune, at least.
Indeed, sir.
What's your story, Murphy, with this mall? I don't
Ma-
imagine you've been through here that many times.
Not many times, sir, but a couple. At least before the war.
I haven't heard much from you on that topic.
What is there to say? I did my work and I enjoyed it, sir.
Me too. Me too.
And you, sir? Where do you hail from? I never learnt.
I was back east. Things went a little radioactive on that side of the continent. Been working my way west ever since.
But why not stay where you're from? It is lovely in the East Coast.
There's a handful of ghouls and a lot of bodies. And that's about it. I imagine you haven't been down that way either for a while, eh, Murphy?
It has been some time, some odd 100 years, sir.
Well, even 100 years back, it was more lively. That's true.
Perhaps things have changed, sir.
I don't doubt it. Just not the direction you're thinking.
As Diaz and Murphy continue to make their way, you guys turn a corner and you can see, this would be like the corner building of a mall. You know, like the shops that like, would have an outside entrance as well as internal ones. And you can see that it's been converted into like a hospital. You can actually see that they have like sliding doors. They've been like sort of like permanently kept open, and you can see people sprawl onto beds or chairs depending on their various state of health at the moment. And you can see about 3 people in like white coats sort of scrambling around from one person to the other. And there's 2 guys again dressed in that same sort of like rancher / Old West getup. There's 2 of them standing sort of at the front of this little cul-de-sac that terminates in this big clinic store. And they kind of just instinctively raise hands as the 2 of you approach. Hold on there. Well. You've wandered a little bit far. I'm afraid the water park's back there.
Yeah, the nice lady at the service desk told us.
Did you get lost? And the 2 guys are kind of like tapping on the pistols on their holsters.
I did, in fact. See, I thought I was going to the hospital to help people, but instead, here I come into the Hassle Brigade. Must have taken a wrong left turn. What do you think, Murph?
I believe you are quite right, sir. As usual.
What's that there, Ed? Yeah, I thought I saw this here ghoul flash a gun in my direction. You know what the sheriff's rules are about firearms.
It's terrible, isn't it? Those ghouls, they'll take any opportunity to just slash your throat right out. And I take my spiked cane and pop the edge out of its bottom by pressing a button at the top of it. And I go and make a quick jab towards this fellow's kidney.
Oh, okay. Can you give me melee weapons or medicine, since you are trying to strike at a vital place?
Indeed.
It wasn't me this time. You piece of shit!
Now hold on. I've pierced your kidneys.
Hmm.
You don't want to just go around like that for very long. Soon your blood will run black. The filtering will fail. And dying of unfiltered blood, that's rough. The madness comes on. And the brain starts to dry out. And the last moments of your life are just excruciating. But I can fix all of that. Because I'm a doctor. Now, why don't you come with me to the hospital and we'll see about this self-inflicted wound? Or you could die. Your call.
The one you stabbed just kind of stands and looks like in terror, like he's still kind of like completely caught in unbelief. The other one is like is starting to unfasten his holster when there's a voice from inside the clinic that's now come up to the door. What the hell is going on over? Oh my god! He runs out. You've stabbed him.
This poor boy is badly hurt. I think it was self-inflicted, but I can assist.
Yeah. He stabbed him without provoking, Dr. Bertram. This man... Shut up! You provoked him. I know you did. I could hear him from inside. I'm not deaf. Go fuck off.
No. He's been hurt. We need to assist him. That's what doctors
The man
do.
needs some health.
Okay. She points at the uninjured guard. You stay here. You come with me, and you. Who the hell are you? She's talking to you, Doctor.
My name's Dr. Diath. And I came here to see if you could use another pair of hands, even if they are a little on the ragged side. My floating friend here is also handy in a pinch.
It's in the name.
I see. And Dora... She looks around. You're a doctor?
Back when that was still a thing you could get a degree for, my dear.
Like you've worked on people?
Too many to count.
Okay. Wow. Alright, come over here. She shouts back, orderly! And someone else runs out. Find this man a bed. Yes, ma'am. And she kind of scrambles, looks around. There's not a single empty bed, so he just like goes and finds like a deflated mattress and like rolls it out and lays it on the floor. Okay, come in. And like she like sort of waves for the three of you to come inside, basically.
As Dieth walks into the hospital alongside the injured fellow, he turns to him. Actually, I carefully avoided your kidneys and your liver. I just poked you a little bit in the back. Be fine.
Please, stop talking. I need to look at that. She like pushes him down onto the ground, way more forceful than you might have imagined she could do. And she looks up again. Make sure he stays here until this is patched. And then she flips back around to you. So you're like a people doctor, right?
Mm-hmm. Don't expect me to fix any of their psychological issues. This boy here is just a pile of complexes. But if they've got something wrong with their bodies, I can be of assistance.
This was a dental clinic. I'm a hygienist.
Lots of that going around.
Our only city doctor went with the expedition, and he didn't come back. I've been having to deal with everything ever since.
Oh,
And
smart planning.
And wouldn't you know it, the city doctor was a quack. None of these people have been treated for forever. Most of the drugs that have been handed out are placebos.
Ah, good old sugar water. What would we do without it?
Anyways, and my orderlies, one of them's a plumber, and the other one's I don't know what he does.
Probably sneaks some of the chems. Don't worry, my dear. I think we are exactly where we need to be. Murphy, let us
Yes,
see
sir.
about giving these people some health.
Of course, sir.
And Dr. Dieth allows the hygienist to lead him to her most dire patient and gets to work.
Nice. All right. We will roll back around to the two of you. I'm going to move on to Errant. So, Errant, you have been gleefully, oh so happily, dragging your armor down the streets of the Edmonton Mall.
That's how I get my exercise each day.
Exactly.
Just never stops.
Yep.
Don't stop, won't stop.
The workout begins at 6 a.m. and doesn't stop till the drop. Or whenever you wake up. Before to put on new clothes. You do catch the eyes of a few people wandering the area, but most ignore you, I would say. So, you continue on your way. There are signs here and there, like a mall would have, of sort of like quote unquote points of interest. And eventually, you make your way to what Deputy Bleeker described as a machine shop. But it is not so much a shop as a collection of things that are vaguely mechanical, placed into piles
Oh boy.
in various places.
I get the best places.
Yeah. The for player reference, this was probably like an automotive care place back in the day, like a Canadian Tire or something equivalent. It's got that sort of setup where you can see on one side there would have been bays where cars could have been like lifted up or whatever, so people could get underneath, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. It was a
so-
Jiffy Lube.
Yeah, whatever, like something like that. And so there's like skeletons of those kinds of mechanisms still here and there. And there actually are a couple of like dilapidated cars. Some of them are like just down to their frames, and they're definitely not good for anything but scrap. Others are at least recognizable as cars, although it's who knows if they'd run or whatever. There's also a series of odds and ends that probably at some point belonged to various robots. There's robot arms hanging from walls on hooks. There's like robot legs doing the same. There's like eye pieces that were obviously off of a Mr. Handy or Mr. Gutsy. And everything's on those store racks you would find in like a big hardware store. Where like they're almost like wall to ceiling, and you need one of those like those wheels, like ladder on wheels, to reach up to the top or whatever. And they're just littered with anything ranging from like absolute junk to you can tell they were parts to something.
Okay. So before I enter in, I actually put my armor aside. I lock it up.
Yeah.
I imagine I have some sort of like padlock thing that I can just like close it and nobody can move it. And if they can move 4,500 pounds, well, all the power to them.
Yeah, exactly.
It needs a fusion core, and if you take the fusion core out, you can't move it or power it unless they have a fusion core.
Exactly. Otherwise, it's just
Or a cart.
Yeah.
Or a cart.
Or a big cart.
Yeah, and I leave it someplace that I keep an eye on it, and then I take my baseball bat and carry it with me.
All right. As you walk in, like I said, there's just things everywhere. Like you're constantly having to step over piles of this, piles of that, like wheel rims and like pistons and bits of engines here and there. And you eventually notice a guy. He's running around in like a classic like auto mechanic jumpsuit. And he's got like wild hair and all of that, and he's kind of just running back and forth between things like someone who's got 20 different ovens cooking 20 different meals going on.
Brown?
Yeah, and you can see on his side of the shop, unlike where you were standing, which I guess was storage or whatever, he does have things running. There's a big square metal box that's like shaking rapidly back and forth, like someone's making the most violent bowl of popcorn of all time. There's a big, basically like one of those bingo cages, but like the length of a person that's like rolling, and inside you can see small like metal like counterweight balls like rattling inside. You can see like little orbs with like little lightning balls jumping back and forth between them, and every so often it sputters out, and he goes, "Oh, crap!" And he like hits the side, and it starts back up. Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay. Wonderful. And okay, that's there, and that's. Oh, hello. And he turns and notices you as you start walking in. So.
Oh, yeah. Hey. Glad you noticed me. I was about to bang on something loud to get your attention.
Oh no, that's quite all right. I can notice a fly farting on a duck. That doesn't make any sense. Hi, I'm Rhyme. Gavin Rhyme.
Gavin Rhyme, eh?
Yeah, he holds out his hand and then thinks better of it when he looks down at his hand and notices it's covered in like something black and sticky, and he kind of and retracts it. Never mind. Hi. I'm assuming you saw my notice on the bulletin board. I'm so glad you're here. We really could use a hand.
Notice?
He stops. Yes, about the new assistant. Beckett went off with the expedition and hasn't returned. And not only that, but he took our one and only laser rifle. And that was the fusion cell that was powering most of these gadgets. The city doesn't know it yet, but if I don't find a replacement soon or some other way to compensate for it, then a lot of the things that are running in this city are not running. I haven't told the mayor yet, of course, because if you tell the mayor, then of course the sheriff learns, and if the sheriff learns, and well, you know.
Yeah, I've been there. So, what is exactly that you're needing help with?
He stretches his head. Well, he turns back. What don't I need help with? I must admit, most of these were set up by Beckett. You see, most of the power grid for this mall was reliant on the city hundreds of years ago. The city, of course, not being here anymore, but the mall standing the test of time. Whoop-de-doo. We had several generators that Beckett was able to set up at various points across the mall. One of these generators, unfortunately, has bitten the ghost. Is that the same? Oh, I don't know. Given up the ghost. That's it. Yes. Given up the ghost. Bitten the dust, given up the ghost. Those are the saints. Excellent. Anyways, one of them has bitten the dust, unfortunately. And, without one of the generators, it turns out that the other one's become very overstressed. And, if they become overstressed, then they start shutting down, and if we lose all the generators, well, back to what I was saying before. And you can see he's getting more and more panicky as he's talking.
So it sounds to me like you don't have a lot of redundancy, and the system is basically generally on the cusp of collapse at any given moment.
Yes, exactly. On the cusp. Oh boy, don't say that so loud. So in essence, basically I'm looking for someone who knows how to fix power generators, and failing that, could possibly find that fusion cell because, well, I think I found an alternative energy source, but, well, I can't power it with, and he looks around, nothing.
What's this alternative power source?
He turns back around. I'm glad you asked. This is he sort of fans his hand across the really weird assortment of like converted appliances he has on this little countertop. And like I said, I was mentioning the bowl of popcorn. Again, from player reference, the box that's shaking is a microwave. But he's like added things to, like little antennas and cables and wires and so on and so forth. And again, for player reference, all of them are like that. There's like a dishwasher and all of that, and they've all been sort of like daisy chained together. This is... I don't actually have a name. I'm not really good at names. But this is a device that will replace some of the power needs that generator was compensating for, at least for the short term. Unfortunately, the only thing I'm able to really do right now is supplied by using kinetic energy. You can see I've loaded these metal balls into this rack, and, well, it's all very, very scientific. I don't want to bore you. But basically, as long as that keeps spinning, the lights seem to be staying on, which is great. Because when it stopped spinning, all the lights went off, and we had a panic, and I managed to get them back on and just mentioned there was a mole rat biting some cables, and everyone believed me.
Right.
So, I don't suppose you have any knowledge of power generators or how to fix them.
I know a thing or two. Probably lend a hand.
Oh, excellent. How are you with mole rats? Because there's lots. There's lots where the generators are. Like there's lots, like a lot.
So you weren't kidding.
No. Well, I mean, the power went out because the thing stopped rolling. But yes, the mole rats bite the cables all the time. It's a constant problem running out of cables. I'm really
So
worried.
I have a proposition for you, and after I'm done giving this proposition, you will propose what's in it for me. Now, based on the circumstances that you told me, and obviously you have a request for assistance, I can probably lend that assistance. However, rather than just fixing the lackluster power generation you have here, I could potentially also help you with something else by making sure you're no longer on the cusp of destruction at any single moment by having a single power generator go down and basically panicking like your head's about to become a ghoul.
Well, that's good.
So I can help you get the generator up. After that, I can help you look into alternative means to get additional power. Now, with all of that being said, I'm pretty sure that's a big undertaking. So I'm wondering what you got it in for me.
Right. Well, of course, as I mentioned on the bulletin board, there is loads and loads and loads of store credit in for whoever was able to assist me. I am the leading authority on mechanics left in Edmonton, believe it or not, especially if Beckett's dead, which he might be at this point because he's been gone for 18 hours and he hasn't come back and said anything to me. And so I actually have quite a bit of sway in that regard. I'm sure I don't have to explain to you the benefit of store credit. Other than that, you seem like a man who knows his way around a shop like this. Maybe there's something in here that might excite you. I'm sure I could throw that into the bargain to sweeten the pot.
Sure. We can discuss things once I get the job done.
Oh, excellent. Okay, well, let me show you how to get down there, and he stops again. And you're fine with mole rats, right? I'm serious about the mole rats. There's like 50 of them.
Yeah, I'm sure my team could use some more protein for dinners.
Oh, okay, excellent. Yeah, okay, excellent. Right this way then.
Yeah, just give me a moment. I walk over to my suit, open it up, put the bat away, and then I power it up and get in. Walk back to him. All right, show me the way.
He looks at you. Ooh. And for the first time, he speaks like as not a completely deranged scatterbrains. Oh, that's T-45 infantry power armor.
You know your stuff.
Well, I have to admit, you're not the first Brotherhood of Steel member I've ever met.
Really?
He nods.
When's the last time you met one?
He thinks. I think it was just a couple of days ago.
They still here?
They might be. They haven't passed by me again, but it is a big mall. They were mentioning they were looking for something or someone. I'm afraid I was right in the middle of trying to get these balls to spin again.
Right. Okay. Well, while I'm doing this, if you come across them or you see where they're going, let me know. And if they ask if I was here, I wasn't. You understand?
He nods. Lips are sealed. If you can help me out, then pretty much do whatever you want.
Good. It's guaranteed I can help you.
Excellent.
Just a
well,
matter
it's
of time.
guaranteed that I can shut up.
Great. This is going to be a good working relationship we got, Doc.
And he turns, like, wringing his hands nervously and starts to lead you to the back of the shop towards, like, a staircase that goes down. So.
Excellent.
We will spin back to you in just a moment, and I'm actually going to spin back towards Hute Downer, if Bob is still with us. Because as Noah and John start to make their way to the casino, they come across a classic confrontation. And I'm just going to absolutely confirm that Bob is still there before I can describe this scene.
Checkity check before you wreckity wreck.
Noah's changed his clothes using his pit boy.
Where do you keep your clothes?
In the pit boy.
In the pit boy. Oh, there. Okay.
Wow.
So I will describe that when you get back to us, Nathaniel.
Okay. All right. We'll get there in a moment. Noah and John, you guys, like I said, are making your way to the casino. You've rounded a few streets, and at this point, you can see the casino in the distance. It's huge. Again, this would be converted like a corner area. This would have been one of the stores that would have been on the corner of the mall that would have been accessible from outside. And it was something massive, like, so think grocery store. This must have been like a big, like multi-level grocery store at one point, or something like that, or like a Walmart or something like that sells groceries and lots of other stuff as well, potentially.
Zellers.
And the whole Zellers. The whole thing's been converted. Zellers didn't even last our era, let alone apocalypse. Now of course the whole thing's been converted into a big casino. And you can see at the entrance, not only do they have a couple of the sheriff's deputies, but also other guys who are sitting behind like turnstile things, checking people's. And you can see people who are coming in are flashing some sort of ID card or something similar as they pass the guys in the turnstiles. So, but before you get to any of that, with the casino in the background, you actually notice, and Dad, I'm giving the scene to you here. You notice Shoot Downer actually standing in the middle of the street, and on the other side of him, across the ways, is a man in sort of like a worn and torn like suit, and he's waving a gun in the air like a wild man, and in between all the expletives he's shouting in Hugh Downer's direction, he's also claiming that the casino has robbed him of everything he's ever had, and Sheriff Downer's not shutting the place down. He's waving the gun at Downer and says, "I'm holding you personally responsible, Sheriff. You shot this place down and you're taking a bullet in the eyes."
Bob, you're muted.
That was a cue.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Can you do that over again?
Okay.
Sorry. I was sort of tuned out.
Oh, Chris gave me the thumbs up. I thought you were there. Okay.
I was, but
What do you mean? Do the last sentence again, or the whole description?
it's just a description from the guy in the street.
The whole thing. Okay, fine. So as John and Noah are coming down the road and they turn with the casino in the backdrop, on one side is Hugh Downer, and on the other side is a man in a torn and worn tuxedo or suit, waving a gun wild in the air. And he's shouting in between all the expletives. He's shouting. He's blaming. He's mentioning that the casino took everything he's ever owned, and he's holding Hugh Downer personally responsible. "I'm holding you responsible, Sheriff. You shut this place down. You're taking a bullet between the eyes." And he sort of like levels the pistol towards you.
All right. So Sheriff Downer whips out both of his Colts
Mhm.
and says, "You best be putting those guns down, or I'm going to shoot you."
"Shoot me if you want. They've taken everything." And he goes to cock the pistol. You can hear the of the mechanism on the back going back. Sorry, I don't know much about guns.
He cocks the hammer.
Yeah, thank you, the hammer. Thank you. He cocks the hammer.
All right. So Sheriff Downer picks up or aims one of his Colts at the guy and shoots him in the forehead.
In a blink of an eye, the bullet whizzes out of the gun and straight through his head. before the guy has time to really realize what's happened, the gun falls out of his now limp hand, and the body swings back and hits the ground with a thump. Without having to say anything else, the two other deputies who through this whole incident were just standing calmly by the side walk over to the dead man and begin dragging his corpse basically out of view of the public.
Just another day on the job.
Downer, you, after wrapping up here, notice Noah and John approaching you. You recognize them from earlier in the day. Do you say anything to them? They've witnessed this entire event.
All right, so Sheriff Downer twirls his pistols in the air, puts them back in his holster, and says to them, "That's what happens to people who break the law." And he walks away.
Nice.
Interesting flourish. He's really just an Old West cowboy, huh?
Yeah, it kind of seems that way. I mean, I guess it is Edmonton, so
I didn't grow
that was
up here.
interesting.
I wouldn't know.
It was, yeah, this part of the country was some real cowboy shit.
As far as I've heard, only bird of beef, but that was a long time ago.
Wait, you didn't grow up around these parts?
I grew up in a vault.
Right, we talked about this. Where was the vault?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Let's go over through the casino, please. We're wasting time. We're meeting everybody at 5.
All right. It does matter, but I'll respect that you really don't want to tell me for some reason.
Well, you tell me where you came from.
I already did.
And
Toronto, we had this.
I don't have to believe your story as much as you want to know mine.
Right, that's fair. I mean, I did show you that wild shit that I can do, but yeah. I guess it's probably, what I did was probably not as wild as that. Is the guy's gun still on the ground?
The pistol? No, the deputies cleared it and the corpse away.
Damn. I knew they took the corpse. I was hoping they might have left the gun. Left the
No, they
cannoli.
did have to arrest the gun because the gun's out in the mall.
That's true. If I had picked it up, I would have immediately been shot anyhow, so maybe it's for the better. All right. Yeah, I guess I proceed to follow Noah to the rest of the way to the casino.
Okay. And speaking of time, we will take our break here, gentlemen. It is 9:23. We will be back at 9:33. We'll see you then.
See you then.
Been a bit.
Goodbye. For now.
Bye.
Yay, we're back.
And we never left.
We did never leave, but you did, and now you're back.
Nice.
I promise at every point there was one person here watching.
Yeah. John and Noah, you guys are at the entrance of the casino, having just witnessed Hugh Downer lay down some good old-fashioned justice, quote-unquote. After his deputies, who were very calm during the whole confrontation, dragged the corpse of the man away, they sort of sit back, they get back into their positions of leaning casually on the banisters on either side of the casino entrance. And as they notice the two of you approaching, they just kind of like give you like a sort of like a little casual nod. It's not actually those guys that you notice, in fact, and John, perhaps I won't put thoughts in your mind, but perhaps you start getting a weird like vibe that everyone's trying to one up each other in the way that people are dressed here, because it takes quite a bit to outdo everyone looks like they pop out of a John Wayne movie, but all of the staff and guards inside the casino are all rocking the like ancient Egyptian vibe. The sign of the casino, like as the man mentioned, is just simply called Ramses. And yeah, all the decor is very, very like strangely Egyptian, but like stereotype Egyptian, like the way like a 1950s North American
Right, like
show.
like how the Bangles dressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Question: do they also walk like an Egyptian?
Ooh.
Roll perception.
How many
Serious question
Bangles
here.
how many Bangles jokes can we make in this preceding segment?
But yeah, so I just want to get that across. Like it's what like a 1950s American show would
Right.
have
Yeah.
thought American Egyptians dressed like. So
Looking very
everyone's got
Ben-Hur.
the eye makeup going. And
like Mars Attacks.
well, yeah, like Mars Attacks.
The,
Yeah.
the casino scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone's very gaudy in that way, and the guys who are supposed to be guards are like in like that style of like armor or whatever, and people have robes on and stuff like that. So it's very apparent who's working at the casino and who's there as a patron, because they're not dressed like that. You assume.
It's funny that you mention that everybody is dressed like they're trying to one up each other at the casino, because using his pit boy, Noah has put on his formal hat and formal clothing, which is a pre-war suit that came with him from the vault. So it's pristine except for some road dust.
Nice. Okay. Excellent. There's the formal clothes. Okay, yeah, so he's switching to businessman mode.
Time stopped for a second, and then he was wearing different clothing the next
John
frame.
John just turns. Okay, so no, Jesus, when did you? Yeah.
I've always had this. Don't worry about it.
Right, I'm sure you've always had it. You didn't always have it on unless you had like tearaway waist clothes.
I'm not sure what you mean. And he kind of doffs his jacket. It's like a proper like tux, and like he's got a fedora breaking the mold a little bit there.
Nice.
Do we get extra credit for the fedora?
Ooh. No, but it does allow him to reroll a single d20 on a charisma-based skill test you make each scene. This makes
Which is
help make
cool.
a good first impression.
This is cool because I can do that twice.
Yeah. So, anyways, the sheriff's men just kind of nod at the two of you, walk up to the guys at the turnstile. The guy at the turnstile says, "Casino pass."
Ain't got one. How can I
We
get
need
one?
a pass to get into the casino, good sir. Well, this is the first I've heard of it.
You don't have the casino pass, then first time entry is 50.
50.
He nods.
Does that buy us a pass?
Yep.
Well, tell you what, I'll do... No, might as well. 50 it is.
50 per person.
Yeah, he takes the caps out and puts it in the guy's hand.
Great. Okay. I'll make sure you get the appropriate store credit added to your accounts. Names?
Smith, John.
Uh-huh.
Oh, mine as well. Noah Moore.
Very good. Okay. Cool. Thanks. You can go inside. Don't cause any trouble.
Understood. And as they enter through the doors, John, this is the first person I've given my name to in this town so far, and of course it leaves a paper trail.
Well, then why'd you give it to him?
I've
heard you come up with cleverer lies than a name.
I need these people to trust us a little bit first.
Then why are you complaining about it? I don't get you, man.
Oh, don't worry. It's all for show. Would you like a drink?
Would I like a drink? No.
Okay.
This place is inhospitable enough when you're sober.
Party pooper. I want to see what they have on special. And
All right.
he goes over to the bar.
The casino is a hustling, bustling place. I'm just kidding. It's a casino, so everyone's sweating and nervous and like anxious about whatever game they're playing or whatever slot machine they're at. There's definitely a lot of noise going on. There is some music going on. Not quite the music John Smith may be used to. The instruments they're using have definitely seen better days or potentially decades. But they're trying their best. The person who's singing at least has a good voice on them. So that's going on in one corner. They got what passes for food and drink here in this world. Going about on different tables. There's a little dining area set up. There's like rows of like slot machine style things. There's little tables. There's like a roulette table. There's like a craps table, of course. There's there's closed off sections with like a glass door and like non see through windows and walls and so on and so forth. Where all the high rolling like poker game stuff happens.
That's what I
back
want.
rats. So, and that kind of stuff. So classic setup. So, the bar's a bar.
Is there a cashier, or is it all like cash only on the tables?
So, in terms of like, chip conversion,
Yeah.
there's people who trade caps for chips, yeah. So,
Okay,
right.
cool.
So why don't both of you tell me? So no one's already mentioned he's going for the bar. What about you, John?
I'm gonna go to the cashier.
Okay.
I will trade 75 caps for chips.
All right. The cashier just nods, hands you the appropriate chips, and with the most insincere voice possible, he says, "Have fun."
Thank you. If I win, I'll come back and give you a tip.
Mm-hmm.
John wants to try something, so he's going to go to the roulette table.
Yep.
Tell me about this roulette table. Pretty standard.
Okay. Yeah, it's what you imagine. Sorry. I was like, what's he trying? Islands. It's rectangular. There's for those of you who don't know what a roulette wheel is, it's basically a contraption. It's a circular contraption. There's a piece in the middle that you can spin, like that you can turn like a big handle, and it spins it around. And there's like a marble that hops around into little boxes. The boxes are colored in numbers. It's usually red, black, and then there's a variety of numbers. And wherever the marble lands, whoever put money on that particular number or color wins money. Everyone else loses money. So.
Okay.
But yeah, it's your standard thing. Right now, there's one other person there. They do not seem to be doing very well. And there's like the host, we'll call them, who is dressed, as formally as they can. So
this is where John is going to try and learn something. He is going to look at the red and the black boxes, and he's going to he's not going to like throw from a distance, but he's going to put his hand down near them. He's going to throw a chip onto the box that's going to win.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So
I'm going to have to do this quite a few times before I realize if I'm just getting lucky or my power is actually doing something. Yeah. Well, maybe not quite a few times. I might know immediately if this doesn't work. If it does work, I'll have to let it ride.
I'll have to let it ride, like you said. Okay. Interesting. Exactly. Okay, so your chip lands in the black box. The marble goes around, and let's see. Give me 1 second. He nods to you. He's like, "Okay, 5 on what kind of chip was it? Like a $5 chip or
yeah,
whatever?"
5. I thought I said that, but if I didn't, 5 was my intention.
Okay. The marble goes around and lands. Red 21. Red 21.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
And he scoops your chip away. Sorry, sir. Care to play again? And the other guy who was at the table gets his chip swept away. He slams the table and says, I've been out here all day and I haven't won once. This game's rigged. And he storms away.
Yeah, all of a sudden, I feel like maybe I want to try a different game. No offense. I'm sure there's nothing to that. Just call me superstitious, I guess.
No. The guy who is super, super duper dressed like a stereotype Egyptian person nods at you. No problem. And he just sort of points at the other tables.
Is there crabs?
Yeah, there's craps.
Mm-hmm.
John's gonna go to the craps table.
Okay.
Now, Nathaniel, I don't know about you. I don't know how to play craps.
Yeah.
But I do know if
I
there's
do.
any game in here. If there's any game in here, John can win.
Yeah. Right.
Without getting lucky.
Richard, are you confident enough with the rules of craps that you'd like to explain it not only to John Smith, but also to all of us?
No, I can Google it real quick just to make sure.
Okay.
All right. You win if it is a 7 or an 11. You lose if it is a 2, 3, or 12 roll, which is craps, and also, I guess, snake eyes. Any other number that rolls becomes a point, and the point must roll again before a 7 to win. That's from
Right.
the Venetian in Las Vegas.
Okay. Yeah.
So 7 or 11 wins, 2, 3, or what was the other number?
12.
12 loses. If you
Yeah.
roll anything else, you have to roll that again before a 7 comes up in order to win.
That's right.
Okay.
That sounds correct, yes.
Yeah.
I had to read it again just in case.
Yeah.
All right. John goes up to the croupier.
Yep.
At the craps table. All right. Is it? Yeah, I guess there's no one else here. So, do you mind if I buy in?
He nods. Absolutely.
What's the minimum bet at your table, my friend?
25.
Whew, it's a little spicy, but all right. John throws down 25 chips.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna try to throw a 7.
Gonna try to throw a 7. Okay. Roll the gambling skill for Fallout 1. No.
Is that a real skill in Fallout 1?
Yes.
It is.
God damn.
Okay, so you throw a 7. 7, winner! Congratulations, sir.
Ding, 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 ding.
Thank you.
What's the table paying?
Double.
2 to 1? Okay.
John.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, John keeps the 50 on there.
Yep.
He's gonna keep rolling. This time, John is gonna shoot for a 4.
Okay. You throw a 4. 4. All right, roll again, sir.
John's gonna shoot some other innocuous numbers for a while.
Mhm.
A 6, an 8, another 6, or I don't know. He'll roll a few innocuous numbers and then throw a 4 again.
Right, okay. Enough that it's not like immediate. Yeah,
Yeah.
right, gotcha. Okay, it will go as planned. Winner! Congratulations, sir.
Oh, man. Let me tell you. If I had to choose between the inside of here and the wasteland, which one was more tense? It would be, well, it'd be a crapshoot. You know what I'm saying?
The man doesn't laugh and just nods. Of course, sir.
Okay. John takes 75 of his chips off. He goes back to the minimum bet.
Right.
He'll throw, I don't know, I guess he throws like a 9.
Okay.
And then he throws a 12. No.
Oh,
Wait, 12 is one of the losers, right?
that's right. 2, 3, and
Yeah.
12 are bust.
And then he
Yeah.
throws a 12.
Okay. Oh, a 12. Most unfortunate. Sorry about that, sir. He takes your money.
John is, I don't know, do you want me to just keep doing this, Nathaniel, or should I just say, I'm
Yeah.
going to keep doing this till I have like a reasonable number. I'll even let you choose what that is. That wouldn't raise suspicion before I go. It's getting a little too risky for me. I kind of like where I'm sitting.
Right. Yeah, no, you don't have to keep doing it over again.
Yeah,
Just-
I don't want to sweep this, but I want to keep this kind of like pattern of like winning and then losing, but I want to make it look natural.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So it goes on for a little while. And you're doing really, really well. So you've won like let's just fast forward. You've won like your total winnings at this point is like 250. So
Plus the 75. That's my winnings. So it's on top of what I started with, right?
yeah.
That would be,
Okay.
yes.
So
that would leave me at 325, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. And I read if he has a name tag. I don't know.
He's dressed in Egyptian garms. He has no name tag.
Thank you so much, Tutankhamun. I leave him a 15 chip tip.
He pockets it.
And I head back to the cashier
Mhm.
to
Thanks
cash
for knowing
out.
my name.
Oh, yeah.
And when I cash out, I leave another 10. I give him a 10 chip
Wow.
tip for 300 total at the end.
Nice.
And I tip him first, and then I go, so how does it work here with the cash out? Do I I know I can ask for caps, but can I get that in store credit, or is it caps only? What's the
He looks at he raises an eyebrow. Oh, you won?
I mean, just a little, not like Earth.
He looks a little bit like just for a moment. He looks a bit bewildered and then just goes, yeah, you could just cash it out." And he points at a barred window. "You can cash it over there, sir."
Right. Okay. Don't love how surprised you were that I won, but hey, I guess it's a casino. We're all losers except the house here. I walk over to the bars. I'd like to change these. Do we do like caps or store credit? What's the...
He looks at you. Up to you, of course.
Can I get 50 caps and I guess 250 store credit? I don't even know what the metric of store credit is around here.
He nods. 250 store credit puts you up at and he says the clothing tier. Congratulations.
Thank you. Is that good?
He shrugs. It's better than janitor tier, sir, but not as good as a hardware store tier.
Is it offensive to ask what tier you're at? Because if it is, pretend I didn't ask.
He says, I'm casino tier.
Wow, that makes so much sense. That is... And wow, thank you. And I'll just take the 50 caps and I'll get out of your hair. You've been wonderful.
He pushes the caps towards you. He looks back at you. You won quite a bit today, sir.
I mean, I lost just about as much as I won. You know, I was up and down.
Mm-hmm. Have a nice day.
All right, you too.
Noah, you went to the bar way earlier. John's been gambling it up. What have you been up to?
I went up to one of the bartenders and I asked if there was a guy there who had a tab under the name Virgil Timms.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. And he leans over and says, "I'm not really supposed to tell you about the other customers, sir."
Well, you're not supposed to, but I am trying to make sure that he can settle up and you guys can collect if, well, that is the case. I'm not exactly sure how large it is, but I've been asked to help settle it.
Virgil Thames, I have a hard time believing he has any problem settling debt, sir.
And why would that be?
He gives you a big smile because he owns like the third biggest house in Edmonton.
Interesting.
Guy's been electronics store tier for like a year.
That's it. That's actually quite impressive. Okay, that's good to know. I'm not exactly sure what his debts are, but I might as well find some idea of how much he owes to somewhere just in case. But if you can't tell me, that's fine. I can maybe go ask him myself then.
You won't be getting too close to his house if you're not electronics tier. Sorry about that. And since I don't recognize you, I'm going to bet that you've just arrived.
I'm going to have to be electronics store tier just to be able to approach his place.
Can't get into that part of town without it. Those are the rules.
And how much store credit do I need for that?
And he thinks for a second. I don't know. Casino tier. Never tried for electronics.
Well, how much do you have? I'm sure. Look, I'm just a simple man trying to do a job, just like you are right now. So it would help me out a lot if you could, slip me some information, and maybe I can slip you some caps. I'd like to see you get out of casino tier if you'd like.
All right, roll speech, please.
Will do. 3 successes.
Hey, baby. All right.
But up.
Can I re-roll my...
Re-rolls, get a complication. Ah, damn.
I'll re-roll it again because I can do that.
That's what. Yeah, I was gonna say you could just re-roll the complication.
You should re-roll the 5. You beat it too much. Sorry.
Yeah. 3 successes. All right. Well, you seem harmless enough, anyways. Okay. Listen. All the tiers are based on what parts of the mall you can enter, right? Like, I don't know how many days you've been here, but that's how it works. So, casino tier works at the casino, right? Clothing store in the clothing store district, etc., etc. Okay? So if you want to get to electronics store tier, you're either going to need 4,500 store credit like everyone else, or you're going to have to do something really damn impressive. And I mean really damn impressive. Like something that makes the mayor turn his head.
Well, I very much appreciate that information. I'm going to let that stew for quite a while. But you, and he slips some 20 caps, you have a fantastic day.
Thank you, sir. He grabs the caps hungrily. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day, too.
No, okay. So if I need to get 4,500, what am I going to do? Like walking away, muttering to himself as John is distracted by the casino. Like, what on earth am I going to do to get 4,500? Is it a 1-to-1 cap ratio? I don't even know how I can get 4,500 caps in the first place. And it just goes on like that for a while.
John walks over to Noah from the exchange desk. He walks over to him, but he doesn't say anything.
Are you in front of me or behind me?
Oh, don't talk to me, janitor. I'm a clothing tier now, so I don't really need this.
I'm not. John, I'm going to say this in the nicest
John
way
gives him a
possible.
playful tap on the shoulder. I'm just fucking with you, dude.
Your clothing tier?
Yeah, I mean, I changed for I got some store credits.
Excellent, John. We need 4,500.
No, hang on. Let's go talk somewhere else. Yeah.
I mean, it's loud enough
Trust.
in this area. I don't. Okay, sure.
Trust
and
me.
He puts his hands up. Sure, absolutely. Wherever you feel comfortable, John.
Outside of the casino. And he takes him out to where that gunfight happened, I guess.
Right.
All right. So yeah, managed to walk out like with a cool 350 or 325 rather. That's including what I started with. So listen, they were all so surprised that I was winning. We cannot win here anymore.
They're probably going to be on to you since you've won and I'm impeccably dressed.
Right. I've taken them for virtually nothing at this point. I took some store credit, whatever. I didn't take caps from them, really. I didn't even take as many as I put in. But they won't let it ride for very much longer if I keep trying to do it.
So then that means we need to do something incredible in order to make sure that the mayor's head gets turned our direction.
All right, want to go check out that bulletin board, Jan?
Oh, the bulletin board is one thing, but what time is it now, Nathaniel?
3:30.
Oh, we still have time. We might as well. But we do need... Well, I guess I can let you in on this, John. And he begins walking. We need 4,500 credits or to win the mayor's favor in order to potentially find the one person in town that would know where the broker would be.
Why would this guy know who is this guy? And why would he know where the broker is?
This is well, I don't know if it's the third richest man in town, but he's got the third largest house. His name is Virgil Thames, like the river, like in, ironically, well, I guess not Egypt. I have no idea where it is. We were just in there, right? Like, I've just got it all in the brain.
The Thames? That's in France, I think.
I don't know anything about
Sounds French to me. Yeah, me either.
This is the wasteland. I don't need to know anything about what it exists over on. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, we need 4,500 to talk to this man, and when we talk to this man, he can get us where we want to go. And if you're not willing to win, should we save people on this expedition? And if we do that, should we wait till everybody's here? Although impressive would be done if it's just the two of us.
Yeah, but I don't really know how like transferable these store credits are. So like if it's just us, it's not going to be so great for the other three, you know? I mean, we could probably slip Murph through because he's a robot. But like the other two guys would just be left high and dry, and I'm not really about that.
We can... Look, I'm pretty sure you've already noticed that this place is some kind of libertarian hellhole or something. It's all about how much money you're making. So if we can say that we have as much as any of these guys, we could simply say that those are indentured servants, which is, you know, not the greatest thing to say, but it might get them through. Why do we need more than one person to go talk to this guy anyway? I could just slip in.
I don't know. You tell me. This is your brainchild. I'm just here for the ride, I guess.
I'm glad to hear that, John. And you know what? Since we're talking about things that you're doing, why don't we go and check out this bulletin board since you suggested it?
Mm.
We'll put Thames aside for now. We'll cross that river when we get to it. And we'll handle some other things for the moment. So come.
Oh, because it's a that's good. What
are you talking about?
Because it's a river. Thames.
Like
bulletin board.
In Egypt.
Bulletin board. John just walks away and continues to say bulletin board.
There's something deeply wrong with that man.
Somebody's sure broken now.
We're going to come back to DS and Murphy. DS, I would like you to roll medicine, and Murphy, I would like you to roll whatever you think would be appropriate to help him.
All right. So, Dieth has been going from patient to patient. All right, what's wrong with you? No, you don't have to tell me. I can see the missing limbs. These still work. Uh-huh. All right. No, I can't do anything about emotional trauma. Okay, yes, the shrapnel in your back we can work on. And so on.
Mm-hmm.
submit.
Nice. Murphy rolls also medicine. Great. Okay, so 3. Ooh. 3 successes from the good doctor, 1 success from Murphy gives us 4 total.
Murphy, if you wouldn't mind just holding this artery closed right here.
Of
Yeah,
course,
let's go.
sir.
Don't mind the screaming. We're almost done.
It's clamped as tightly as it can be.
Good go.
Okay, so there we go. In a matter of hours, more has been done for these poor souls than probably has been done for several days, possibly ever. The orderlies who are clearly have no medical knowledge try to help if you ever ask them to like fetch this or that. But more often than not, they're bringing you like the wrong thing. Like you're asking them, if you ask them for a scalpel, they're like bringing you like, I don't know, like a mirror or something. Like they're just
Chainsaw.
grabbing whatever. They're grabbing like a knife.
This is a butcher's knife.
Yeah.
And although some doctors might fit under that particular category, I am not amongst them.
Right. Okay. And he's trying eventually to get it, and as the hours go on, they
Tell
get
you
more of
what,
a
you
hang
just
of,
hold him down,
Yeah.
Murphy.
Yeah.
Get me the scalpel.
Yeah. So.
Will do, sir.
And that goes on and on. Dr. Bertram helps where she can, but as she already mentioned, she's a hygienist, so she, mostly deals with anesthesiology and that kind of thing. So, but she doesn't know that. And
if there's any bones sticking out, she cleans them.
Yeah.
She should be so kind as to hand me a cup of Listerine.
Yes, she knows what things are called at least. And that kind of thing. So, but in a matter of
Big
hours,
start.
Yeah, in a matter of hours, the clinic is actually partially empty, and you get the idea that this is the first time in a while that there hasn't been a whole bunch of wounded or sick people wandering around or lying down, as it were.
Your only anesthetic is Novocaine. All right. Well, we can make it work.
So after a while, obviously, there's still lots of people who need help, but after a few hours, things are taking a bit of a positive swing. And Dr. Bertram addresses you again and just says, "Thank you. It's nice to find someone who wants to help."
It didn't used to be so rare.
We used to have like proper maintenance crews and people who took care of stuff, and now it's just who's ever on the lowest totem pole that get shoved into a job they're not qualified for. That's why we have so many workplace injuries, so many injuries in general.
I'm getting that impression.
Pest control squads, and we used to have. That was decades ago. I was a little kid the last time I feel like the city was run properly, but.
What changed?
She shrugged. A lot of the same people died.
And the insane people survived. Took over.
She shrugs. The basic bare bones model has been in place for over a century. The more stuff you do to help the community, the more store credits you get. That's the whole idea. But it used to mean something. It was it trickled down, Now it's just the people with the store credit get the houses, and the people who don't live in a cubicle or worse.
Well, that's not an uncommon story. I suppose the real special thing here is that there's any nice to have.
And she hushes because the one dude with the rifle still sitting outside. The peacekeeping corps certainly isn't doing anything. Sheriff Downer's a nut job. He walked out of a. He thinks the world's a Western show or something.
You've got to be a little crazy if you're going to survive. I'm glad to see that you've been managing to keep brain matter and psychosomatic issues down to a minimum. I don't see too much splatter along the walls here. Not too many limbs sawn off unnecessarily. I'd say that although your clinic is not serving the people as well as it might, it could be doing a lot worse.
Yeah, well, my mom always told me that, like, you know, people only survive with other people.
We all need each other, don't we?
But, you know, a lot of the new generation, a lot of people living here now have come from other settlements across the waste. And the influxes are only getting worse and worse the more people come east and the more people escape other things. I've heard all kinds of stories. The enclave and the fucking order and...
Mm-hmm. I
It's getting
imagine that maybe
serious.
things have been getting a little worse just in the short little while before now. Last few months, maybe.
Oh, man. They're all... People like to think they're coming, but they're already here.
The order, you mean?
She nods. They call it they walk the streets like preachers, but they're recruitment officers.
Sounds like, on the other hand, things could use a change for the better around here. What makes you afraid of the order?
You heard what happened to the settlement near here?
Something about burning.
Apparently the order showed up with some kind of contract or something. A list of things they had to do and had to stop.
Mm-hmm.
They got 12 hours to sign the thing or the town burned down. And, well, you know the end of the story.
Sounds like the sort of contract you might want to sign then.
I don't know what was in the contract, obviously. But word is, if the order comes here, they're going to bring the same kind of contract to Downer. And I can't imagine him signing someone else's contract.
What about your mayor?
He does whatever Downer says. The peacekeeping corps have all the guns. They raided they came with them. Raided some big plaza or vault or something nearby. Brought with them enough firepower to raise the place. How are you going to stop that?
So they're relatively recent then, too.
Yeah, last few decades, I suppose.
Funny. That seems like a bit of a coincidence with your timetable on the spiral downwards.
Yeah, well, I wasn't raised to believe in coincidences, but if they are, then they suck.
Listen, you want my advice, one doctor to another? Keep your head down. Don't get too involved in politics. The one truism is that all things pass. Trust me, I have seen it happen again and again. Someone comes to power, and a lot of people die because they feel the need to get involved. But a couple of years, decades later, they're all dead anyways, and it's somebody else. That's the thing with revolutions. They just come round and round and round.
Yeah. Listen, thank you so much for your help. There's one other thing that I can think of that you might be able to help me with.
What's that?
I don't know if this is something you want to do, but I'm only asking because, well, you're and she kind of just looks at you up and down.
I don't know what you're insinuating. I am extremely handsome, it's true.
We were experimenting with something. The doctor I mentioned earlier, he was a quack doctor, but he really was a scientist of some sort. He was looking at, well, your kind. And apparently he was making big strides in regeneration or something, or cracking the code on ghoul longevity. It's the reason why they're allowed to stay here. They don't have any contribution to community, but they got given a radiated part of the mall, and with the idea that they would continue to provide him, well, samples.
Right. A little bit of human experimentation never hurt anybody, especially when the experimentees aren't strictly human.
Listen, I'm not asking you to go and convince them to be lab rats again, but obviously it stirred up a lot of tension. Apparently the ghouls have gotten their hand on a few weapons, and, well, if you know anything about Sheriff Downer yet, then you know that that's only going to lead badly. And it won't be the ghouls that suffer, it won't be the Peacekeeping Corps that suffers, it'll be everyone else.
Oh, no. I'm sure that's not the case, my dear. I'm sure everyone will suffer. But don't you worry yourself. We'll go take a look. I imagine that my brethren will be more than happy to see me, and we'll work everything one way or the other. But you just remember what I said about keeping yourself out of it.
Yeah, okay, thanks. And she turns to Murphy. And hey, thanks as well. I didn't get your name.
My name is Murphy, my dear.
Oh, well, it's great to meet you, Murphy. She kind of instinctively raises out a hand and then realizes you don't really have a hand, so she just kind of nods in your direction.
The buzzsaw comes out.
Yeah.
Murphy,
she
wrong
like
arm.
retracts her hand.
Apologies, sir.
Yeah. She tries to
All right,
reach for
say
like, your
goodbye to the
face
nice
and-
lady now, Murphy.
So long and farewell. I do hope things go well for you in this hospital.
Yeah, well, thanks. Good luck and all that.
If we find your quack, we'll send him back here.
Trust me, if there's one person who deserved to die on the expedition, it was probably him.
If we find your quack, we might send him back here.
She gives you a smile and turns and goes to tend to someone. So, request sent back the clerk.
Knowing the time, Dr. Dieth takes Murphy with him, heads out for a bit. Poor girl. That clinic's doomed. Along with probably a lot of people here. Let's go.
Onwards, Doctor.
Yeah. Okay. Errant, we come back to you. I would like you to roll right away, without any contacts. I would like you to roll unarmed, please.
What?
haven't-
Why no contacts? No, I'm kidding.
Time to slap babies, Kurt.
If you have an unarmed weapon set up, you can roll that instead of just rolling the unarmed, like we did last
Okay,
week.
well, I got my knuckles,
Yep.
so
You go for that.
okie dokie.
Bam. Bang, bang, boom. Okay. Yeah, so now I will explain what happened. That roll was to abstract how well you fared against the mole rats.
That's what I
regarding the damage
figured.
generator.
'Cause
got a
I'm
one.
pretty sure they can't hurt me. So,
4 successes, you eviscerate them. The generator area is free of mole rats in the span of an hour or two.
Roll damage.
There are no more mole rats. So
Woo!
not bad. Nice.
It's interesting to note that if you roll a 1, you don't get the double
the
plus
double
the tag
double, yeah.
skill.
Mhm.
You only get 2 instead of
Yeah.
3. So
Mhm.
take note, Uriwan.
Mhm.
Would you rather get
Yeah,
a 2
so-
then?
I mean, it doesn't matter. It
Doesn't
just
matter.
Oh, yeah.
isn't. You just can't
But
get a
one-
super bonus.
Yeah,
The max you can succeed is 4 outside of special conditions.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it doesn't. When Thomas is saying that it doesn't stack. If you roll a 1, you're not getting the 2 from the 1 and the 2 from the
yeah,
other.
because otherwise it would
And-
be 5 right now.
Exactly. So that's why you're getting 4. So yes, like he said, and I'm confirming that 4 is the max successes unless you purchase additional d20s with action points.
Radio.
To a maximum of 5 d20s, which would cost all 6 action points. Anyways, the mole rats are history. There are so much mole rat guts. There is so much mole rat gut now in this room. Rhyme watches you eviscerate the mole rats with a little bit too much glee. And as the last mole rat gets squashed under your mighty fists of power, he runs up to you. Splendid, splendid! Oh, I haven't seen that since... I've never seen that, actually, now that I think about it. Never seen that. Cool. Well done. Well, all of my worries about your competency have completely withered away. I mean, if you can smash roll rats into oblivion, surely you can fix this generator. I'm sure those two skills are related.
Yeah. In my case, they are.
Excellent. Well, if you really are a member or former member of the Brotherhood of Steel, and not just someone who got lucky and stole the power armor, then I will leave you to fixing the generator while I go upstairs and make sure that those machines haven't stopped moving. Because if that happens, the lights go out, and I've explained this already.
Yes. Yeah. I'll be up in them momentarily.
Awesome. Okay. Well, bye. And he scatters upstairs.
Does he slip on some mole rat guts? Because that'd be funny.
He doesn't fall down, but yeah, he just kind of slides a little bit every so often, and then he gets
Cool.
back up the stairs. So.
Should I roll to see how much is left for dinner?
No, but I would like you to roll repair.
That's fine.
See how you do on the generator.
To see how well you put one together for dinner.
Repair the mole rat.
He's going to turn it into a nice bologna.
One success. Okay. All right. Very good.
You did guarantee you would help him. This is help.
Yep. You start tinkering away at the generator.
I have the multi-tool, so any repair is dropped by 1.
Oh, great. Okay, like the difficulty?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay, good. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was like, we didn't make it.
I just remembered that. I'm like, okay. I got the multi-tool for a reason.
Yeah. Excellent. Then you start tinkering away at the generator. And for as sort of nuts and dumb as Ryan seems to be, or whoever set up this generator is pretty authentic. Being an expert as you are on technology, you recognize some of the mechanisms within it. And, for what it is, it's, doesn't quite live up to the kind of generators that would have been back in your home chapter. But these are competently done. These were either set in place back when technology was much more booming, and these have just lasted that long, or these were extracted from some place that was much more higher tech than this mall was and placed here. Either way, they're actually pretty decent, and luckily for you, you actually recognize a lot of the mechanisms that these generators run on, and you're able to recognize what the problems are within the generator, and you think given an hour or two, you could probably have this back up and running no problem, just like you said you would.
I'm wondering if I can tinker on it some more, and also not only try to repair it, but try to increase the efficiency.
Ooh, cool. Let's have a science roll then.
Science.
Science!
Ooh.
No. So, your tinkering is successful, but your attempts at increasing its efficiency do not work, unfortunately.
I don't care that much, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
You're like, well, I could move that wire over there, but... Well, I'm not going to be here in 2 days, so I don't give a shit.
Right. How mercenary of you. But anyway, so you're pretty confident that in a couple of hours this will be fixed, and then hopefully you can work out some reasonable reward.
Cool.
And I will come back to you, and we are going to come back to Noah and John for our final scene tonight.
Ooh.
Noah and John, you come back towards following a couple of signs through the mall. There's lots of winding, going around people and areas and little houses. You manage to find what you assume to be the mayor's office. You find the bulletin board anyways. Whether or not anyone is using this as an office is not really your concern right now. And you can see people have tacked things up kind of messily, all different kinds of writing styles, and not everyone has paper. Paper is actually pretty hard to come by, so some of these are digital feeds or whatever. So I should make that clear. It's not a literal bulletin board. It's like a board where people, or it's like a space on a wall where people can post things. But paper is actually a pretty rare commodity. So you would imagine if someone actually had the paper to spare to tack up a job, they're actually really up there. So just keep that in mind. And so you do find a couple of things, some of which, obviously, some of you already knew. There is a posting, for example, from Gavin Rhyme, basically mentioning what he's already explained to Aaron Way. So I won't go over that for the because I know all you players know that already, but just something like a request for someone to help him.
In brackets at the bottom, it just says "must be good with animals."
Yeah. It's a very scatterbrains writing. Like he keeps going off topic here and there, and then he comes back on. It's like, oh yeah, I need the generator working, blah blah. And he really, and now Aaron Ways knows how bad it looks, but the job posting undersells like how bad it is because. As Aaron Ways now knows, Rhyme has been lying to people about how dire the situation is so that he doesn't get killed.
Oh, well, John, that sounds like a job that Waze is probably already taken care of.
I mean, he went down that way, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Mash, squish.
Yep, exactly. Somewhere, mole rats are dying. Obi-Wan Kenobi's disturbed. It's as if 1,000 mole rats cried out and were suddenly silenced.
Master Skywalker, what'll we do?
There's a posting from Dr. Bertram asking for anyone with medical expertise or knowledge to help at the medical clinic. So you gathered that you know that DF and Murphy walked in that direction. There's a posting from Sheriff Downer asking people to be on the lookout for suspicious ne'er-do-wells. But as there are no pictures or physical descriptions of such people, it's hard to know exactly what he's talking about. And then the final one is actually like an ad about a thrilling exotic expedition to wild and wet lands, the likes of which you have never seen. And I will make either John or Noah roll. You can read between the lines. The expedition that they are trying to sell as if it's a trip to Disneyland is in fact the expedition into the sewers underneath the mall.
And who posted that one?
The mayor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, John, it looks like the mayor's posted the expedition one, so that means it's his expedition that was lost, and if we can find it, or at least procure some proof that they died, then that might be enough to secure us an audience with him.
I mean, we don't know that we can't see the mayor already. We saw the sheriff. We could just ask.
I am pretty sure that if he's not in his office, he's in his house, and if we go by his house, we will likely be shot on sight by the guards, the sheriff, the whatever. We probably won't make it there.
I don't know about on site, but I will say we never did check his office. You're just kind of assuming he's home.
No, the office is right here. We can go talk to him if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. Let's give it a go. We walk over to the office and we try opening the door.
Is there a door on the door?
Is there a note like back in 20?
No, lights are off.
Out to lunch. Okay.
Yeah.
John, it does look like that nobody is currently... Well, I guess in this case, he might be home.
All right, fair enough. Okay, I guess we should probably meet up with the rest of the boys and see about that expedition, huh? Seeing as I assume 2 of those other 4 have already been done. Or 2 of those other 3, rather. And one of them is... I mean, we could just grab random people off the street, turn them into the sheriff, and be like, hey, this guy's a ne'er-do-well.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, we're not doing that. It was a joke.
That's right. John, can I ask you a question?
Okay.
He points over to a storefront nearby. What is a Wetzel pretzel?
All right, I can answer that one, actually. Do you know what a pretzel is?
If I did, I would not be asking you.
Right, I was hoping that the problem lay in the Wetzel, not the pretzel. Pretzel is like a piece of... It's like a long piece of bread, soft. They twist up, and they turn it into like a... I don't know, it kind of looks like a heart, I guess. And then they put a lot of salt on it, and you dip it in, I don't know, cheese sauce, If you're smart, you dip it in mustard.
And that costs $9?
Wait, they were selling them here for $9? Man, this place fucking rules.
Mm.
Back in Toronto, you got to cost like 14, 15. I mean, we didn't really have many in Toronto. We mostly had the Colonels, and they were fine.
You're now losing me again.
Where are we meeting with the guys?
Back by the information booth. I believe her name was not
Barbara.
Jeanette. Barbara! Yes, thank you,
Yeah,
John.
nice. You hear a voice of an older sounding man coming from behind you. Now let me ask you a question, young man. Are you tired of the chaos and randomness of life? Wouldn't it be better if there was order?
Before Noah before John turns around, he just sighs and mutters, "Oh fuck!" Just from the sounds of him, Noah's gonna love this guy. And then he turns around.
So the man looks like he's in his late 40s. He's got the monk hairdo, where
Like the tonsure?
Yeah. It's like totally shaved on the top, but he's got like the thing on the sides.
The tonsure.
Yeah. And he's got like the robe on, and he's holding a whole bunch of like pamphlets. And he just gives you a big old smile. His face is not very pretty. It looks like a plastic surgery job gone wrong. I don't know how else to describe that. It looks like
Alone-esque.
wrinkled and worn, like someone of that age might look, and then it looks like someone tried to sort of rejuvenate it and kind of gave up halfway.
He looks like a wallet that got dropped in the pool.
Like that one Star Trek movie where they pull the guy's skin back to make it look nice and fresh.
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Yeah, Men in Black.
Sir, are you peddling
Surprisingly
order in
common.
Are you peddling order in a lawless world?
Not peddling, my friend. Promising. I am a steward, a spokesperson of the order, and we are very, very interested in understanding your needs and desires as we begin to encourage change in this part of the land.
I hear you guys burn down settlements.
John.
What? It's what I hear.
You're correct, but I do think I don't live in this area, so I'm sorry, but I'm currently being spoken for.
See, well, you are here now, and that's all that matters. Change is coming. Order is coming. Chaos, chance, destruction, mayhem, those things will be a thing of the past when the order sweeps through Edmonton. One voice, one mind, one rule. Doesn't that sound grand, my friends?
You sound batshit insane.
I will agree,
One
but I was
order,
going to
one mind, one rule. Are you fucking kidding me?
I was going to say it nicer than that.
Despite John's very very aggressive motions, the man's sort of vacant smile hasn't dropped whatsoever. It's so nice to see such vigor and enthusiasm in young people. I know it's probably a hard and confusing subject to approach, but it's something I would love to chat more with you about, especially in the coming days.
In the coming days, yeah, we can pencil you in the coming days. We can figure something out in a couple days.
Oh,
you are also currently holding pamphlets. I'm seeing. You've got probably a quota. You have to hand probably a bunch of these out. I can take one of these for now, and then we can schedule for this spot maybe 3 or 4 days from now.
Oh, that would be perfect. Here, you take a pamphlet. I'm afraid it's simple, you know. You understand that these resources are hard to come by, but they are growing. The order grows every day as more people understand that we need order.
out of curiosity, if I were to change my mind on the order, how long do I have to get on board before the mall gets burned down?
Oh, we don't burn anything. We simply cleanse those who have clung to chaos. Those two things can't mix.
Do you see how that sounds terrible?
I had a feeling he would say that.
Yeah, he just stares at you with a vacant smile. Again, I understand this is a tough topic. It usually is for many people. But I'll tell you what, you have a few days to think about it. Tell your friends, tell your families. Make sure as many people as can knows. I'll be doing the same as well as my brethren here in the mall. Together, we can bring order. Many minds to one mind, all under the benevolent rule of our leader. And he hands you the pamphlet.
He takes the pamphlet and he puts it in his back pocket.
Wait, read it first.
No,
Maybe
I'm
it'll
not
tell us about
reading
the
it. No, I took it. That's all I got to know.
Who's the leader? Tell me about this guy.
And he turns and his smile gets wider. The leader. The one great mind. To rule all minds. All hail our leader. All hail the bringer of order. All hail Black Talon. And we're going to end our session there tonight, Talon.
Son of a bitch!
Yeah. Damn it.
Nice.
He's the worst one for John to go up against.
He starts walking away, and he's just like, well, we're not going to be here in a couple days. This is fine. Who cares?
I'm just going to stay where the mole rats are. You guys no longer have a tank. I'm sorry.
That's
bye.
fine.
I'm happy down here with the mole
I'm
rats.
safe. I have
Oh,
mole
surround
rats,
me, my
I have a
brethren.
generator.
Ickle baby gonna hide in the generator womb.
Okay, I was actually thinking it would have been the experiment kid rather than
Yeah,
Black
Christian,
Talon.
that's what I found out, or that's what I felt like when it was Duke Graham.
Yeah.
As special as it is to be replaying John,
Yeah.
something about being the villain of the campaign, even in a roundabout way, is very good.
Okay.
Well, John, if you thought I was evil before, wait till you see these guys.
Hey, Noah, you're preaching to the choir on this one.
Yeah.
No, they are.
Yeah.
Diaz told you that he was good.
This
Yeah.
is our
And that
this
he
is
has a
our
sliding scale of what good and versus evil is.
this is our lesson on how to make a sociopath look actually nice.
Hey, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I never said that Noah was evil. I said he was creepy, and I hate that it feels like he's trying to sell me something.
Mm-hmm.
I never said he was evil.
I'm pretty sure out of all the alignment scales, we need to create a new one where instead of just pure neutral, it's just pure chaotic, and that's Noah Moore.
That's chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
No, that's just pure chaotic. It's like you're
Well,
not even neutral. You're
No,
just chaotic.
he's definitely lawful evil. He's working on against his own rule set.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Chris got
it. Yeah, there we go.
Actually, Noah feels very true neutral
Mm.
because he approaches every conversation every conversation is its own
what
thing.
Can I get out of this?
Thomas
He will-
got
Out of
it.
this?
He will say anything or do anything, whether it is in contrast to what he's done
I'm
before.
willing to bet that Noah Moore has some skeletons in the closet that we have not heard of yet.
I likewise am, but
And
for
Richard
now,
probably has like a 10-page biography about it.
So,
Baby, I've already told you how I'm playing this. You guys need to pay attention.
Anyways, there we go.
yes.
Woo!
horrifying.
Ooh, nice.
I
So-
don't think that would have been more optimal, Kirk. No, Experiment 69
Ooh.
would not be a
Nice.
good villain for anybody.
Yeah.
In any case, under any
Well,
circumstances.
Yeah, I was
They're
just
good
thinking
villains.
is that the brain controlling thing, but yeah, I just don't remember Black Talon having that, but it's fine.
I didn't necessarily mention that they was controlling anyone's brains, but who knows?
People can
So,
rule
I
in
mean, the
different
technology of the Fallout universe might be in operation here.
Let me put it this way: if the sheriff can control the mall just by being good at shooting,
Mhm.
imagine what Black Talon can control by being Black Talon.
ways. Exactly.
Well, in conjunction with that, a very important question. I killed an unanswerable amount of mole rats down there.
Yeah, Kirk, I'll answer for you. You level up.
Oh, thanks, Thomas, for making the executive decision for me. It takes a
No
lot of weight
problem.
off me.
It's
Thank
like
you.
2
No problem,
experience
sir.
per
Appreciate it.
rat, Kirk.
I appreciate that.
I killed an insurmountable amount of mole rats
Clearly, it
that
wasn't
were
insurmountable
infesting
because you
the
surmounted it.
mall.
These
He
were
said
rodents?
You were over on top of the mole rats.
He said like 50, and I bet there was hyperbole
No,
there.
he said no
These-
number. He didn't say a number.
He
These
said
rodents,
like 50. I bet it
were
was
of-
more like
Since there was
20.
no explicit number, it's basically infinite.
an unusual sized amount of rodents.
Haha.
I am now standing on a mountain of rat corpses. So please
You
tell me how many
turned
levels
out-
I got out of that.
It turned out the entire mall was made of mole rats.
Just mole rats.
That's why it's
just
falling
mole
apart.
rats.
Just all mole rats. All
You have killed them all and cemented them back into place, and everyone can thank you later.
Exactly. No more
Precisely.
earthquakes. No more rat quakes.
Thank you, Aaron.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Seriously, I leveled up,
Nathaniel,
right?
Thank you for
No.
bringing Black Tower.
You're welcome,
Nathaniel.
Christian. I'm so glad you're excited. So
Yeah.
I mean,
one of several twists to come. Ooh.
What did
for
we
John,
give
it
us-
had to be Black. It had to be Black Talon.
Yeah.
Give us our ending line so I can end this thing.
So, thank you so much, friends, for joining me today. That was episode 2. We will be back for episode 3 of A Walk Through the Waste very soon. Pleasant Dreams is the name. So until then,
Ooh.
have a great night. We'll see you soon.
Oshimai.
Ooh.